What's up?
What's up, everybody? It is Friday night. It is the Metalheads Night podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Back with our regularly formatted program, I guess. For,
Yep.
for for this week anyway, we might have to
Yes.
brainstorm to see what we're going to do next week. So
We'll have to put our heads together and yeah. Might have to have a brainstorming session. You're right.
oh man, so
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Hope. I. I mean, I'm glad we can laugh about
joke
what
about it.
happened
Yeah,
last. I'm glad we can joke about it now. But for those of you who may or may not have shown up last Saturday. We went live and we were expecting our guest brainstorm, and something happened. We're still not 100% sure what. I mean, we may or may not get clarity on it, but we were expecting a guest that didn't show. So,
yeah. Which I mean,
so
I think that may be the first time that happened.
it
So
I
um,
I do believe it is the first time it's happened.
yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, I try to, especially with that, I'll give the benefit of a doubt because we're talking about, we're in Central Time, and when I set this up, I try to say Central Time because
Yep.
that's our
Me
time.
too.
So I try to do our time to their time. But the platform that we use, EV or I don't know how they pronounce that, but that's what I say, EV but they they go by Eastern time.
Yeah,
So
they do.
if I
Yeah,
send that, if I think when I send that over, it kind of confuses them because they're like, huh, wait a minute, I thought you said 10, 10, so now it's 11. That's why I thought, well, maybe
yeah,
they think it's 11 and they're going to be an hour late. So,
yeah.
so,
Which
so,
we have had that happen before
right, yeah,
with Anzalu, but they showed up an hour early. So
exactly, yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
I
they
guess
showed
it's
up an hour
better.
early. But
I guess it's better being. And I even like it was so cool with them because I offered. I said, "Well, hey man, we can get started if you want to. Like just give me a minute to get in there and set it up, and we'll
right,
go
yeah,
live now." And he's like, "Oh no, man, man, take we'll do it on time." So he said,
yeah,
we got other stuff we can do." I was like, "Okay." So so
yeah,
so it's pretty cool that they kind of worked with us on that. So
yep.
and I will give a shout out. Oh shit! Just seen something. Okay, never mind. So I thought it was something important. It was actually my personal. I never know which one I'm in, so it's my personal stuff, and I thought it was Metalheads, but it was our personal stuff. So I was
Gotcha.
like, oh, I'm not worried about that right now. So,
Yeah, me either.
but yeah, but this is Metalheads time right now. So
That's right.
it's my schedule is blocked from 10 to whenever most of
Right.
the time with this show. Uh, so and pretty much everybody that knows me understands that. Of course, you know there are some of those out there that don't know. So,
That's right.
but anyway, I do want to give a shout out to Curtis, man. He's been pretty cool about this whole thing too. He's just kind of like, hey man, let's set this back up. And cause I see it from their perspective too. It's like, hey, we're sponsoring you and we're giving you a chance to push yourself and you're not taking it. So what's going on.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like what we were talking about with Vinny from Ash's Reign when he was saying, hey, we had to do this, we had to do these 3 shows before we went to Texas because we're having a show to the record label that we're serious and we want to do this because
Right.
after they got signed, 2 of the band members dropped out.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like, they were like, "Are you fucking for real? Like after we signed, come on, dude!" Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of it is what it is. Everybody has their personal issues and stuff that they have to deal with. So I mean, I'm not, and I don't know what exactly all went on with that. I just kind of think that's
No. Yeah.
crazy.
No.
I was bad timing on their part.
Yeah.
But
But
like I said, they said, okay, well, we'll prove to you that we want to do this, and we'll do 3 shows before we get to Dallas, and
mhm.
then and I think that's helped them because honestly, I see them doing a lot more stuff right now.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. You got to show some initiative because it's your band, it's your product. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
like,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like anything else. If you're going to if you're going to get your name out there, you gotta take. What did Rick say when his PR person messaged him and said, "Hey, we got this and this and this and this. What do you want to do?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And she
He's like,
said,
yeah,
"She said, what do you mean? All of it? Let's
all of
go.
it.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
Let's go."
Yeah.
And I mean, Station AD's kind of, I mean, if you're from the Northeast, you probably know who they are. I mean,
Hmm.
they're kind of a big
Yeah,
deal up there. So
if
I
you're in
mean,
the metal if you're in the metal scene up there, yeah, I would be willing to
you
bet.
definitely, yeah, I'd be better bet you know who they are. So I mean, even and they do a lot of stuff overseas too. So it's just
They
crazy,
do.
to get
They've been to
somebody.
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be a band that has traveled as much as they have and it's not as big as I think they should be,
Hmm.
it's unreal, dude. It's
Same.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sitting there
fucked
going,
up.
man, you guys should have like 300,000 followers by now. What the hell?
Yeah, it's messed up. They're popular enough
Mhm.
to make it over to Europe, but for some
Yeah,
reason over here we can't get them to come down to Tennessee. So I don't.
yeah. Oh, ooh.
It's fucking weird.
If you're watching Rick, I think that was a shot. I'm just saying.
No, 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 no. That's not a shot.
I'm
No, it
just,
isn't.
I just fucking with him because I told him.
Yeah.
Remember, I told him at that time. I said, we've had you on here 3 times, and not one fucking time have you been down here.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Three albums we've talked to you about, and you hadn't toured Tennessee on none of
I,
them.
but that's the thing though. I would bet a good amount of money that if Rick had a chance to come down here to play somewhere,
Oh,
that
he'd be
he'd
all
be
over
here,
it.
that
Yeah.
he would be here tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a shot at
And
Rick at all. It's
no, no,
it's
no.
it's actually kind of a shot at the United States, really, to be
Well,
honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah, truly, yeah. But I was
It
like,
really is.
what you said about Rick though is just like that because I mean, I think Rick would wake up on a day off and they'd be like, "Hey, you want to do this gig tonight?" He said, "Fuck yeah, let's fly out, let's go."
He
I
probably
think that's.
would.
I mean, because that's just how much he likes playing. I mean, and
Yeah, I guarantee you
so
he
and
probably
to
would.
me, like I love guys like that are just like,
Hmm.
you know, all out there, and I think. If you've ever seen one of the interviews with Rick, or if you know Rick Jimenez from Extinction 80, you can probably vouch that I don't think that guy. I think he would tell you his life story on a show if he had time to do it. I mean, this is kind of how he is. I don't think he would hide anything because he's just
No,
like
he's
that. I mean,
he's pretty
he's pretty
transparent.
straightforward. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
transparent guy.
yeah, he is.
And I like that about it. And I
Me
like
too.
talking to people like that have been around a little while and done stuff overseas and done stuff here, and because they can kind of say, okay, you know, we always hear about the bands that say, hey, it's hard to travel uh, over. It's hard to travel over. Uh, what did Harvey Whippleman say? Oh,
Oh my god.
my God, so stupid.
Oh
I don't
god.
even look. I don't even look Samoan. I'm Irish. I go more look like Seamus than I would anybody
I was about to say, if
else.
anything, you look like Seamus when he first came back.
Mayonnaise. Isn't that what the? Who was
Oh
that? You
yeah.
said was that the John Cena that called him mayonnaise?
I think
A
it
big
was
old
John
jar of
Cena.
mayonnaise.
I think it was.
Oh, so
Uh, Dana, thanks for tuning in, bud. We appreciate it as
yeah,
always.
yeah.
Coming off the top rope with that one, Jesus Christ! Fucking hell.
Gotta love it.
Shit. All right.
What was what was that thing
reel
of
it,
last
reel it back in. Fuck. Oh man.
name?
Oh, excuse me. Good lord. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of dude's name. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head because he wasn't there long. But I was going to say something to the extent of he looked like James Ellsworth, but
Oh my god. I remember him though.
yeah. Except Dana's probably got a chin, so.
He does.
Mm.
He does.
Uh,
Yep, he
anyway,
does.
so yeah, just back to the things I like to hear. I like to talk to bands like he just finished watching SmackDown. Yeah, I was trying to, and then I had gotten. I was like, man, I can't do that because there was too much going on, and I was trying to finish stuff up for this, and I'm just saying, hey, fuck it, I'll watch it tomorrow or something. Watch it on one of the apps. Um, but uh, but anyway, yeah, it's about talking to like about bands like Extinction AD that travel over there because we always hear about the bands from over there talking about how hard it is to get over here. So I
Yeah,
always wonder how hard it is to try to travel over there. Because I mean, we even seen some stuff where was it Anthrax had bus
Anthrax.
issues at one time over there. So I mean, that's
Yeah, they
crazy to
couldn't.
have some. Yeah, because there's not enough people to do it. Because like
Yep, they
I
couldn't
think we
find
found out.
transportation.
Yeah, I think we found out later that one of the bands that we talked to said that the bus system over there for that, like two of them went out of business completely because of COVID.
That
So
doesn't
then,
help.
yeah, so then you're short on drivers and buses. So yeah, every band can't get on, can't get on and get buses and stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's like, well, to me, I was telling Susie when I heard that, I said, man, we need to go over there and start a damn busing company.
Well, I mean,
shit, shit, just retire after that. So,
yeah,
because I mean, if they're that short, I mean, you're gonna make bank. So,
yeah.
but but yeah. So
Well, that
anyway,
especially especially when you consider over there in Europe, the majority of transportation is public anyway.
right, yeah.
Buses and trains and shit like that. I mean, that's it's kind of a polar opposite between here and there.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
we, I
not,
mean,
not
we
probably not
have, I
as many
mean,
people driving over there. So.
yeah, I mean, we have trains here, but I mean, we have so much more. We have so much more room to cover over
Hmm.
there. So I mean, they're
That's
they're a
true.
lot closer together. So I mean, it makes sense. I wish we had more trains and stuff like that here. And then
Yeah.
I still don't think there's enough major cities that have public transportation
Hmm.
enough to for the infrastructure of some of these cities. But I mean,
Well,
that's completely
or,
different. That's a different.
or you can
That's a
do
whole.
like our town did, waste all that money fixing the bridge and cleaning up the old depot and all that stuff, and then a train still hasn't went through there. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, why'd you spend all that money if you? it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
like
like
crazy, dude.
it's like a microcosm of a much larger problem.
It
Yeah,
was yeah, it
exactly.
was funny too. We were coming down because my son was out Highway 7, out Santa Fe. So we were coming
Hmm.
back, and the roads out there. I mean, those roads aren't very old. They're jacked up, dude. They're like, I'm just like, my wife was like, man, so they need to do something with these roads. And of course, if you drove on 65 lately, it's fucked up too. So,
Hmm.
it's like these are that's a major interstate. So I mean, they
Yeah.
should probably jump on that first. But I'm just saying, you got all these highways and stuff like that, and it makes me think it's like, hey, maybe we should have Doge to dig into the states fund and
Oh
see where the
Lord.
fucking highway money's going
Oh
because it ain't
Lord.
going to the fucking roads.
Well, it also doesn't help that we only replace about an inch and a half to 2 inches of asphalt at a time whenever we do a new road. Anyways, I mean, we're not. I
Well,
mean, we're not. We're only laying down about this much new asphalt at a time anyway. So it's no wonder it doesn't last. But
yeah, but why though? Because if you think about it, they done moved probably 20,000 people into here in the last 2 years or so. So I mean, I don't understand. Like you're
yeah, I have
getting
no
that much
idea.
more tax money. You're getting that much more people buying tags, so they have to pay the road tax and wheel tax and all that shit. And then if you got a EV or HEV, then you're having to pay even more for that because
Yeah.
we don't use as much fucking gas.
Mhm.
So punish us for not using gas.
Hell, if we knew all the answers to that, we wouldn't be doing this show right now. So,
Well, that's true too. It'd be a whole
so
different podcast. Yes.
well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
uh, I mean, we can share opinions, but that's about all we can do. So we don't.
Yeah.
I don't usually pay attention to a lot of the stuff on like Facebook and Twitter, X and all that stuff. I get on X and laugh a lot because of some of the stuff people are just offended by. I'm just like, I just shake my head and laugh because I think it's dumb for one thing to be
It is.
offended by
Yeah,
any,
it is.
to be offended by anything somebody says. Somebody would say that shit to my face. I'm like, gives a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm
Hmm.
gonna live my life. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
So, but some people's got to be the center of attention. So, which is not a to me, it's not a uh, voice of a group of people. It's a voice of themselves in that group of people because they have to be the center of it.
Hmm.
These other people are probably like, man, sit down, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. You're making us look bad, man.
Yeah.
Sit
Sometimes.
down. So, yeah, it's just I don't know.
Sometimes.
I just don't. I don't believe in news feeds being on my social media stuff. So actually, I don't even read the news here. I usually get it from another country because they know more about what's going on over here than the reporters over here do. So,
Yeah.
so, but anyway, I guess we will dig into this thing before we get too carried away with stuff. So,
Yeah, we were we were headed that way.
uh, you can call me Hornswoggle. So, I don't think he might be taller than Hornswoggle. Um, yeah, I got. I decided I was going to do birthdays from last week too, since I didn't get to do them. I said I'll just backtrack a little bit, and
That makes sense.
we'll do the. And plus, it was the first of the month, so I'm just like, yeah, well, we just did the first of the month to the day, hell. So
Sure.
and there's a good chance I'll probably miss some in here because, like I was telling him earlier, there's been some stuff posted on our page. I know I posted some stuff over from Instagram that I posted over into the group, and Lord, I can't remember who they were. So
Yeah.
Chris is going to try to dig through that while I'm going through this. So
Yep. I'll do that.
hopefully, just so we don't miss nobody. I hate to do it and not miss
Yeah.
miss somebody.
Yeah.
So
Try to be as
especially a local band, you know what I mean. So I kind of give them a shout
yes.
out because that's what we're here for, is to push those guys. So anyway, we go to February 1st, kicking off birthdays with Janie Lane, songwriter and singer for Warrant. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2011. I haven't heard any Warrant stuff new. Have you, with the new singer?
No, I haven't.
I've never checked. I mean, I might get curious and check that out sometime. So,
Yeah, I
also
haven't.
on February 1st, we had Ron Welty, drummer for Offspring. I didn't see anything for the second, so I went on to the third. February 3rd, we had Richie Kotzen, guitarist and vocalist for Poison, Mr. Big, and the Winery Dogs. February 4th, we had Bill Ham. He was the manager for ZZ Top. He unfortunately passed away in 2016. We also have some more Offspring love here with Noodles, the guitarist for the Offspring. And then, of course, the God of Nightmares here, Alice Cooper. Of course, he's a vocalist for his own band. So,
Right.
and I think he does that other thing too, doesn't he? With
Oh, you're talking about with
Johnny
John?
Depp and them. Yeah, like, was it
Yeah.
Hollywood Vampires or something like
Hollywood
that?
Vampires. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
to, of course, everybody knows him from Alice Cooper though. So there you go.
Of course.
February 5th, we had Nigel Tufnell, guitarist for Spinal Tap. And let me tell you something. This is where I always get mad because they always put on what's one site that I get some of this stuff from. They'll say, um, how they put it. I wish I knew how they put that shit now. Um, but they put it in a way to make it sound like he's not a real guitarist. I'm just like,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
still a real guitarist. It's like, just because he was in a fucking uh, movie like that doesn't mean he wasn't a real guitarist.
Sure. Yeah.
I just like, I don't know, for some reason that just bothers me for them to say that. I'm just like, I mean, I want to say, well, you do it then, motherfucker. Say how you do.
Right.
But anyway, February 5th, we also had Tommy Skiach, guitarist for Tesla from 1984 to 2006. Then we had Duff McKagan, bassist for Guns N' Roses. Then February 6th, we had Punky Meadows, guitarist for Angel. If you're not familiar with those guys, they were a glam metal band back in the 80s. I guess if that's what you want to call it, glam, hair, whatever. Um, and then also on February 6th, we had another Guns N' Roses shout out to Axl Rose himself, the vocalist for Guns N' Roses. February 7th, Mark St. John, guitarist for Kiss, a short lived guitarist at that, from April to November of '84. He was just a guitarist for that short time, and then he passed away in 2007. And we had David Bryan, keyboardist for Bon Jovi. Then Sully Erna, guitarist and rhythm guitarist for Godsmack, and Wes Borland, guitarist for Limp Bizkit. February 8th, we had Vince Neil, vocalist for Motley Crue. Dave Farrell, bassist for Linkin Park. February 9th, we had Rachel Bolan, bassist and songwriter for Skid Row. And then we had Jimmy the Rev Sullivan, drummer and songwriter for Avenged Sevenfold, which unfortunately he passed away in 2009. And I'll still stand by thinking if he was still alive, Avenged Sevenfold would not do some of the stuff they're doing right now. Uh,
I agree with that.
Then we had February 10th, we had Cliff Burton, bass guitarist from Metallica. And of course, we know the story with that. He passed away in 1986. And that's another
And
another 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 thing we can say is if he was still alive, a lot of that
yeah,
load and reload shit would have never happened. So, and Saint Anger would have had better production. We had Vic Fuentes, vocalist for Pierce the Veil. February 11th, we had Frederick Thorndahl, guitarist from Meshuggah. Mike Shinoda, vocalist for Linkin Park and Fort Minor. Clementine Delaney, singer and lyricist for Visions of Atlantis and Exit Eden. Greg Jones, a sampler for and keyboardist for Slipknot. February 12th, we had Gil Moore, drummer and vocalist for Triumph, and he was also the recording studio owner of Metalworks. So if you've ever heard Metalworks stuff, then you kind of know where that comes from now. Which is kind of ironic, people. That's kind of like what I say is like hard rock and metal tying together a lot, and people don't
they do.
realize it because you know, Triumph was a great hard rock band, late '70s, early '80s, and then then he owns a metal company, heavy metal company. So kind of funny.
Hmm.
But February 13th, we had Scott Smith, bassist for Loverboy. He unfortunately passed away in 2000. Derek Riggs, he was the artist for, not sure if all of the Iron Maiden album covers, but he did a majority of them. So um, I do know that. So then we had Les Warner, drummer and producer for The Cult. Dave Padden, vocalist and guitarist for Annihilator from 2003 to 2014, and now with Terror Syndrome. Then we had Hamish Glenkos, a guitarist from My Dying Bride. Jeff Waters, guitarist for Annihilator. Some Annihilator love on here. Um, let's see. And then February 14th, we had Roger Fisher, guitarist for Heart from 1967 to 1980. And then last one I have is Liv Christine, vocalist for Lee's Eyes. So,
Nice. All
and
right.
then I don't know what you dug up, but
All
you
right.
can add to it.
All right. A couple of the other ones that you said. We have Never Obey Again bassist Trapo. He turned
That's right. Yep.
50. This says 7 days ago, so I guess it would have been last Friday. Um,
Yeah, probably Thursday or
let's
Friday. Yeah.
see. All right, hang on, and then let's see what else did I find. It doesn't have his last name listed, but you posted something by a band called Mile, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
their bassist Nicholas had a birthday 3 days ago. Hold on, there was another one. Oh, our buddy Victor had a birthday
That's
three
right.
days
Yeah,
ago. Our
from
good friend Victor.
from Rockin' Heavy.
Yep. Oh shit, there was another one that I saw. I think. Hang on a second. My brother had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Mom
That was
had a
his
birthday.
birthday. He's a member of the group. And then you posted something that Dana posted over at Metal and Tat. Sin Kieran, guitarist for Siglos and former guitarist for Ministry,
Yep.
had a birthday 3 days ago. Give me just a second to go back a little further. I don't remember if there's any other.
Yeah.
Sully Erna from Godsmack. Drew Patterson, personal
Oh
friend.
yeah.
For that
Yeah.
all the way back
He's
to the
and
first.
he used to be in a band too, which is kind of sad because they were actually pretty good. So
Okay. All right, I think that's going all the way back to the first
okay,
of the
cool.
books.
Yeah,
That
that
is
sounds
all.
about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So,
I was thinking I only missed about three.
okay. Yeah. So
So
those are all the
that's
ones I
probably
could
about right.
find. Yeah, those are all the ones I could see. But yeah, a couple of friends of the show had some birthdays too, so that was cool to throw that in there. So
Yeah. All right. Well, happy
very cool.
birthday to all of those, and for all of those that had a birthday listening, happy birthday to you as well. Um, and we will move into our metal news of the week.
Yep. And I'm sure that pretty much everyone has heard about this by now, but in case you haven't, I'll try not to dwell on it too much. But I mean, this was all over the news in general. I mean, this was everywhere, so it was kind of hard to miss. So I try not to get into too much detail about it because I don't want to beat a dead horse. So I'm going to go with Metal Injection's coverage of this story because it seems a little more, you know, a little more comprehensive, and they also posted a couple of quick updates. So So, leading off this week over at Metal Injection, a plane owned by Motley Crue vocalist Vince Neil was involved in a fatal collision with another plane at the Scottsdale Airport in Scottsboro, Arizona. It is unclear who was on board at the time, though two separate sources are confirming that at least one person has died, with four others hospitalized, per a statement from Captain Dave Folio of the Scottsdale Fire Department. Quote, today, Scottsdale sadly experienced an aircraft accident at our airport. Based on the information provided thus far, it appears at least one person is dead after two jets collided on the runway at Scottsdale Airport. The accident happened just before 3 p.m. when a Learjet 35A veered off the runway after landing, according to information provided by the FAA. End quote there. That quote was from Scottsdale Mayor Lisa Borowski. According to the FAA via CBS, the Learjet 35A in question veered off the runway as it arrived at Scottsdale Municipal Airport around 2:45 p.m. and crashed into a parked Gulfstream 200 business jet. The Scottsdale Airport is currently closed until further notice. I'm sure it's open again by now. The
Yeah.
Learjet 35A in question's tail number is N81VN, which is registered to Chromed in Hollywood Incorporated, owned by Neil. We'll update the story as more information becomes available. That leads us into update number one. TMZ is reporting that Motley Crue's manager Alan Kovac confirms vocalist Vince Neil was not aboard the plane at the time of the crash. Kovac does note that Vince's girlfriend Rain and her friend Ashley were on board. They were only injured. And then, leading up to update number two, Neil's lawyer Warwick Robinson the fourth, has issued the following statement at 2:39 p.m. local time. A Learjet aircraft model 35A owned by Vince Neil was attempting to land at the Scottsdale Airport. For reasons unknown at this time, the plane veered from the runway, causing it to collide with another parked plane. On board Mr. Neil's plane were two pilots and two passengers. Mr. Neil was not on the plane. More specific details regarding the collision are not available, as this is a rapidly evolving situation and there is an ongoing investigation. Mr. Neil's thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, and he is grateful for the critical aid of all first responders assisting today. End quote. Now, not listed in that story are a couple of details that came out since then. Is that I do believe one of the pilots died, and ironically enough, the plane that Vince Neil's plane crashed into was a plane owned by Vince Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, unfortunately, one person did pass away. Nobody directly related to Vince Neil.
So it was the pilot of Vince Neil's plane that passed away.
I think it was one of the two pilots of Vince's plane that passed away. Yes, that was the only fatality. No one was on board the other plane because it was parked. It just so happened that Vince Neil's plane ran into Vince Vaughn's plane. So,
what's the odds of having Vince on Vince action like that?
Yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who had that shit on their bingo card. So
right, I mean, they definitely would have scored some bank in Vegas if they had bet on that for sure. Right. So,
let me see something right
quick. It's kind of wild how people, and I think people deal with stuff in different ways. I mean, we don't want to take away that somebody passed away, but I think one of the things that kind of got me was somebody posted in the comments and said no member of Hanoi Rocks was injured. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, too soon. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like 20 minutes after it was reported. Yeah, it was probably a little bit too soon.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so unfortunately, one of the two pilots died. That sucks. Everyone else is okay. Still haven't heard anything about why the plane did what it did. So
yeah, to me, it's kind of this is the going trend right now, is reporting on every plane crash that ever happens for some reason. I don't know what the end game for this is, but people think that this has not happened before. Let me tell you something. This planes do that all the time. You just do not hear about it. Like I was like this, for some reason, like ever since the military one happened with the helicopter and stuff, it's just like everybody's reporting on them now.
Well, I think
for every little thing, and of course, this one's just because of whose it belongs to. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying there's been stuff out there, even before that happened. There's been 2 or 3, commuter planes that have had issues and crashed or whatever. And
well,
you wouldn't normally hear that on a normal basis 2-3 years ago, but seeing as the military thing happened and it's fresh on everybody's mind. They're just reporting, reporting,
Yeah,
reporting. So,
that's one of the two. That's one of the two reasons why is because recency bias.
right.
Because all three of the ones that have happened recently have happened so close to each other. But
Hmm.
you had the airplane that collided with the military helicopter, of
Right.
course. Then you had the plane crash that you had the plane that crashed in Philadelphia, and the reason why that one was covered as much as it was where it crashed,
Hmm.
and because of what kind of plane it was. It was a medical transport who was transporting a I think it was a I'm pretty sure it was a child who just recovered from transplant surgery, and they were
I
they
think
were
so.
they were
Yeah.
transporting him back to Mexico, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. I think it was Mexico. Don't quote me on that. So that plane crashed, and like I say, it crashed in a very populated area. And
Hmm.
then obviously the one that we just talked about is because of whose plane it was. So I
Right.
mean, it's a combination of
Yeah.
significance of the significance of the actual people on the plane and just the fact that it happened so recently. It was like boom, boom, boom. So I mean, just you know, so
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's unfortunate. No, nonetheless. I mean,
oh, absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
that
But I
somebody had
mean,
to
but
lose their life.
regardless,
The thing is, that somebody probably had to lose their life, and I guarantee you, it was probably somebody else's carelessness that cost that guy his
more
life. So,
more than likely,
you know,
more than likely.
that's where you gotta, this is a thing where I have a problem with maybe communicators. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but I think if you're going to do that, you need to be able to speak very clear English. I mean, I probably couldn't even be an air traffic, you know, guy because I have a little twang in my, you know, my voice. So I would be kind of scared they might hear something that I didn't say, you know. But I think you got to be a clear speaking person to do anything like that because I mean, like you said, you got people's lives in your hands. So
That is true.
you
That is
know,
true.
that's just like going to you know you don't want to go to a surgeon with arthritis. You know what I mean? It's like it's like
Yeah, yeah, that's
so.
true.
Well, I know you're gonna kick off with the death here in a minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick mine off that I had found.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see, because mine was right in the middle, I think. So let's see. Or was it? Wait a minute. Oh, did I? Oh, did I not paste it on here? Okay, for some reason it didn't. It didn't. It didn't come over. Let me just say I'll find it real quick. Let's see. Pretty sure it was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was on Loudwire. So.
Oh,
So
if I know which one you're looking for. It was on Loudwire. Yeah,
yeah,
it was on Loudwire. Yeah.
I got a couple off of there, so I kind of know where it's at. There it is. I knew kind of where it was at because I pulled another story off there and it was before that one, so I kind of know where it was at. So I found it. So, all right. Uh, let's see. I kind of hate how Loudwire does their stuff, but that's okay. Award-winning graphic artist David Edward Bird, whose unique work helped promote Kiss, Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, and the Grateful Dead, and many others, has passed away at the age of 83. His passing from pneumonia in Albuquerque Hospital on February 3rd was a complication of COVID, they said. New
Mm,
York Times reported anyway. So, if you're following that, that'll be another discussion for another time. But,
right.
we know how those numbers get, elevated sometimes. So, to me, if, you can have both at the same time, but those are two totally different diseases. I mean, I'm trying to, I don't know how you would get pneumonia from COVID. Like, it's kind of strange, but like I said, that's what they want to go with. I guess that's what we'll report on. So that's what they did. So
Yeah, I mean,
his poster designs were strongly associated the Fillmore East Ballroom after he was hired by the promoter Bill Graham. Bird produced era-defining images of Jefferson Airplane, Iron Butterfly, Traffic, Ravi Shankar, and others. His Jimi Hendrix Experience design was once voted the eighth best rock and roll poster of all time by Billboard magazine. That's an honor in itself.
Mm-hmm.
The Bird created artwork for the Rolling Stones' 1969 American tour and the sleeve art for Lou Reed's 1974 album Sally Can't Dance. His work on packaging for the London Philharmonic Orchestra's 1971 production of The Who's Tommy led to a Grammy Award. He later produced the mural poster inserts for the Kiss members' solo albums of 1978, then worked as a director for Van Halen in 1981 Fair Warning tour. He became a staff creative with Warner Brothers, which included developing Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera characters and visualizations of the Harry Potter movie series. So, I mean, this guy had his hand in everything, dude. Um, he Bird also designed the original Woodstock poster. You know,
There you go.
how iconic is that, man? But when event details changed and he couldn't be reached as he was on vacation, Arnold Skolnick was brought in instead, and the original poster was never used. But you know what? I bet he still has it. Bird's Bird's Broadway work included posters for Godspell, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Little Shop of Horrors. In an undated interview, Bird recalled he'd been given just a weekend to come up with the designs for the Kiss solo album posters with the help of two assistants, one of whom was designer Arthur K. Miller.
Oh,
Quote, we
get the
did,
bill.
yeah,
Okay.
quote,
Okay.
we did this crash thing. I mean, I can't tell you how fast we had to do these big paintings. Bird said, and we had to do these montages of everybody, and then they had to interlock. Arthur could actually initiate me, so I could do more work because he could do phony me, and I would trick it up, but which is an illustrator's secret. End quote. That's kind of interesting. Um, so he explained the cartoonish approach was out of necessity. I had to sort of differentiate between each one of the members from the other. We had to do this really fast, and we kept it really flat because we couldn't spend a lot of time rendering or anything. He said of Kiss, you know, at the turn of the 19th century, you could go and see people executed. It was all phony, but they were the shows. So Kiss was kind of like doing that. They were recreating the whole European Grand Guignol Theater. Reflecting what he'd rather have had 2 weeks to work on the album, he added that he was proud of the unusual experience and that he'd recently sold the original pencil sketches. I think about 10 years ago, we sold those to a bond trader on Wall Street who was a Kiss fan. You know, he grew up on Kiss. So, is that all? That was kind of a weird way to end the story.
Mm.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, that's the way they ended it. So, so anyway, so he was part of some iconic stuff, man. Like
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, and he was first called
Woodstock.
upon to do the Woodstock poster. So I mean, like I said, I'm sure that's out there somewhere, just not you know he just wasn't
The,
publicized. I'm sure he's got
I,
that frame somewhere.
yeah, his estate probably has control of it now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So and then all the Kiss stuff was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
remember actually remember the cartoon stuff. And he probably actually led to that Kiss cartoon. I think there was a Kiss cartoon for a little while. So,
I think there was. I
so
mean,
he may have very well led to that. So
could have.
crazy. And of course,
All
doing
right.
stuff with the cartoon, Hanna Barbera and stuff like that. That's kind of wild too. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and Harry Potter had a lot to do with the Harry Potter characters. That's pretty wild, man. So
Yeah, it is.
very, 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 very stellar career, I think. So
Yeah, always
yeah.
definitely got quite the portfolio, no doubt about that.
And it's always it always be there for us to see too. So that's always
That's
cool.
right. He definitely left a legacy. That's absolutely true. All right, staying over at Metal Injection, this is the passing that I have to report. Founding guitarist and vocalist, and I'm hopefully not going to butcher this name, Tron Seacals, of the Norwegian black metal band Jevel has died. News of Seacals' death was broken by Jevel themselves on social media, who only noted his passing, which is weird. Seek House was one of Jevel's founders back in 2009 and performed with the group until his death in 2025. We extend our condolences to Seek House's friends and family at this time. Quote, "It is with the deepest sorrow in our hearts we have to inform that our brother and mastermind of Jevel, Tron Seekhouse, is no longer among us. We need to process this now, the next couple of days, and our heartfelt condolences goes out to Tran's family and family and first and foremost his two kids." End quote. Jevel has 9 albums to their name, the most recent being Not Till End Day in 2024. Stream that here, hyperlink in the story. So, short, sweet, and to the point. So,
Yeah.
but he was only 47 years old. So, 47 years old though.
Yeah,
So,
that's still too young, man. Like
yeah,
that's our age. So I mean,
yeah,
anytime we hear that in our age group, it's kind of like, ugh,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. No cause of death as of right now. And I had to do a little bit of digging to actually find out how old he was because it wasn't in the story that I read. But I did a little bit of googling and I found the age, but no cause of death. So.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so I guess back to more pleasant news here.
Yeah.
Well, there's still disturbing stuff, just not as not deathly. Uh,
Not as final, yeah.
yeah. So this one over from Metal Sucks. First, there was an announcement that Nevermore was coming back, and then came the statement from Jim Shepard that called it completely disrespectful. Then there was the announcement that Jeff Loomis and Van Williams were holding auditions for the band's next bassist and vocalist. That's basically the quick and dirty rundown of Nevermore's apparent return after 13 years. Now
Yep.
Loomis is out here hyping the hell out of it because what else are you going to do while sifting through hundreds of submissions? So during NAMM last month, Loomis spoke with Metal Magnitude, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, about the band's return, in which he described how things are going so far. Quote, "Yeah, there's some incredible stuff coming up. See, I've had a tremendous last 10 years with the band Arch Enemy. I've been part of their band, and I left the band about a year ago because I wanted to kind of be behind the driver's wheel of my own music again. So I'm reforming my old band called Nevermore, and that was a very big part of my life for a long time. And as we all know, the Nevermore singer Warrell Dane passed away about 5 years ago. So we're on the search right now for a new vocalist and bass player. We're going to come back and we're going to revamp the band. It's going to be bigger and better than it ever was. So that's the plans for 2025." End quote. Naturally, Nevermore came up a lot during Loomis's time at NAMM. During a discussion with music equipment company Seymour Duncan, Loomis explained how he and Williams were approaching the reformation of the band. Quote, "We're taking our time with it. We want to make sure we're doing it right and get somebody to honor Warrell Dane's name, but still somebody that can sing like him, but still give a little bit of their own self or own self worth." So there you have it. It's going to be bigger and better than ever, but don't hold your breath for when we'll hear new music because they're going to take their time with that whole process. So just know that the
Yeah.
band's coming back at some point. So, knowing Jeff Loomis, I would say sometime in 26, I would imagine we would have
Yeah.
some new Nevermore.
I don't know. I wish I knew why they didn't reach out to the bass player though. I mean, why is I wish I knew why he wasn't part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of,
Strange.
yeah. I don't know.
Strange.
Must be something there that we don't. Like I said,
Yeah.
sometimes it's best. Fans don't know about some things. I guess. So,
Well, yeah, that's
uh,
true. That is true.
uh,
But I mean, as podcasters and I guess kind of like pseudo journalists that we are, I
yeah.
mean, it would kind of be nice to know. But and
Yeah.
I'm a fan
Free,
of
free,
Nevermore too, so
free. Yeah,
I'd still
right.
like to know why, but
Free. We're freelance journalism. Yeah, that's what it
that's what it's freelance journalism. That's it.
is.
We'll go with that.
I don't know if it might not be good because my freelance gynecology days got me in trouble. So
That's right. I'm not a doctor, but I'll take a look.
that's right.
All right, going over to PRP for this next one. Curses have announced they've gone on indefinite hiatus after parting ways with their drummer Tirsan Demarest. A statement shared by the metalcore band on February 7th reads as follows. Quote, "Effective immediately, Tirsan Demarest is no longer associated with Curses. We ask that everyone please respect our privacy regarding this matter. that being said, due to an untenable situation brought about by personal conflict within the band, we have decided it's best to put Curses on an indefinite hiatus. We will be releasing one final song in the coming weeks. We'd like to thank everyone for all the time spent, the moments shared, and the memories made together. It really isn't possible to fully express how much this has meant to us over the years. We will always cherish what you've given us, end quote. Demarest has issued a statement of his own, which reads as follows, quote, as you all have seen, I am no longer associated with Curses with no fault of my own. As was stated previously, please respect each individual's privacy regarding the matter. Thank you to everyone involved over the last couple of years. I had a wonderful time filled with great memories, end quote. So those two, there was an undercurrent of go fuck yourself in both of those statements, I think.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean,
So
maybe it's warranted though. I mean,
yeah, so who knows? But yeah, those two statements were diplomatic at best. So,
yeah.
but there was some attitude tucked in there. I think you get at least that's how I was reading it. This
Right.
yeah. So
All right. So let's see here. I'm back at. Ooh, should I save that one for last? Probably. You probably know which one I'm talking about. Let's see.
I'd have to go back and look at the ones.
That's the one you said we were going to touch on anyway, so I just did the story. So,
Oh yeah.
so I'm going to do
Yeah,
Blabbermouth. I'll
let's
do
save that
yeah.
for
I'll
last.
do I'll do Blabbermouth first. Beginning February 13th, which was yesterday, just in time for the return of Metallica's M72 North American tour, Nixon is proud to announce a second collaboration collection with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees Metallica. This encore collection, which includes 4 watches, was born of long shared mutual respect for upstarts who bucked the system and wind up changing it for good. I see what they did there. Wind and watches, I got you. Nixon and Metallica will be available. Nixon X Metallica, I guess. Times Metallica? I don't know what that means,
Yeah.
I guess. Will be available as of February 13th, both in stores and online at Metallica.com. Metallica.probittymerch.com, that's in the UK, and Nixon.com. The collection includes 4 hard rocking models. The Century Stainless Steel Kill 'Em All, which is priced at $300. The Metallica collection continues with the band's debut album over cover, gracing the dial of the century, including a custom Metallica Barb's Seconds Hand and Kill 'Em All Hammerhead Tour Hand. That'd be pretty cool. And then the second one is a Century Stainless Steel 72 Seasons watch. That's also $300. The second version of the Century in this collection features Metallica's most recent album cover, 72 Season, and its unmistakable yellow. It also features the Metallica Barb's second hands and leather texture dial. The next one is a Time Teller Ride the Lightning watch, $150. The Metallica collection has another shocking hit with the Ride the Lightning cover on the dial of this Time Teller. The case and band are coated with a special brushed super black finish, while the hands are wood marks are hit with a clean black polish. And then last but not least, you have the 5130 Master of Puppets. That's going to be $550. That's pricey.
Jesus.
Yeah, way to bank on their best album. This watch cranks up the volume and the iconic Master of Puppets crosses, spanning the expensive Sunray dial of the 5130. To take it a step further, a brushed super black finish surrounds the band case and bezel. The 3-link stainless steel, easy to read 51mm design that launched the oversized trend with unique multi-layer cross dial, Metallica Barb second hands, textured center links, helmet cross, embossed crown, updated second pressing colorway. And then Nixon was founded in 1998 in Encinitas, California. Nixon is a premium watch and accessories brand for the youth lifestyle market, focused on making the little stuff better. Nixon began with a small line of team-designed, custom-built watches sold exclusively in specialty board sport and fashion retailers. So, just a little background on the company there. So,
Nice.
because I never heard of them before until now. So,
No.
there you go. Pretty cool. I mean, that's a little pricey for a watch, but
Yeah, it is.
you know, it was like, no, I guess they couldn't land a deal with Rolex to charge $5,000 for nothing. So,
Well,
so I mean, there are more expensive stuff out there, I guess. So,
no, there absolutely is.
I mean, that would be a cool thing for the collector. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that would be neat.
yeah.
And there will be plenty of people that buy them.
Checking bank account now.
Yeah,
My wife would kill me if I paid that much for a watch because I got four I don't wear now.
I could see it. I could see that podcast. Just me in the middle of the screen. Sad news report. My co-host bought a watch and is dead.
So, and then Susie would come on. If you want to buy a watch, I have one for sale.
That's right.
We forgot to mention too. I know we got in the middle of these stories, but Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I forgot it was even Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's right.
We we're spreading the love of metal, so we got caught up. So
that's right. All right, staying at the PRP for this next one. Ben Jones, the mastermind behind prog rock outfit Orion, has accused artist Hugh Syme of apparently cashing in twice on a piece of art. Going by Orion's post on social media, a piece of art he purchased the rights to from Syme for use in his August 2024 Orion album The Lightbringers has since also shown up in the booklet for the deluxe edition of Dream Theater's newly released album Parasomnia. Jones has shared the following of that on Facebook on February 7th. Quote, "Is this for real? A piece of artwork in the new Dream Theater Deluxe Edition is the exact same piece of artwork that was in the Lightbringers booklet for the song The Ghosts Among Us. Sorry. I'm sure they won't read this, but any thoughts from Mike Portnoy or John Petrucci? Hugh Syme did the artwork for my album and theirs, so I think I can see where this is going," end quote. Syme doesn't appear to have publicly responded to the allegations. However, in a comment made by Jones on Orion's Facebook yesterday, February 9th, it would appear that he and Dream Theater's camp have reached an agreement on the matter. That comment read, quote, "I'm not sure why plagiarism is ever being mentioned because I've certainly never said anything about that. In fact, I've written hundreds of responses to make people aware that DT are also the victim of Hugh's negligence. Now, what did I post publicly? Most people won't understand, largely because they've never been down this road. Try to imagine a situation where you've spent thousands of dollars on artwork that was meant to be unique and tailored for your album. You've also spent thousands on creating the album itself, spent months working on it, trying to make it as good as it can be. Now imagine that a fan sends you a photo clearly showing that the exact piece of artwork, which was meant to be exclusive to you, has appeared in the biggest band in the genre's new album art book. I can tell you it's utterly gut-wrenching. The other part of my reasoning for posting this is that I wanted DT to be aware. I'm no big-name musician and I don't have the means to easily contact the likes of DT, hence why I took the time to make 3 to 4 initial posts on a couple of different pages about it. I certainly didn't think it would turn into this. Well, the outcome is that Dream Theater's manager contacted me on Saturday night and we had a very amicable exchange. I also took the chance to clarify with Frank that I don't think they have committed any wrongdoing. Despite the fact that they really owe me nothing, Frank made me a very kind offer, which I will take him up on at some point. In the end, people will decide what they want to feel about this, regardless of the facts." End quote. And that last part is part of the problem.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad they kind of
Worked it out. Yeah.
worked it out. I mean, amicably. That's cool of them.
Yeah.
What band was it originally?
Oh shit! You would Orion.
Orion. Okay.
Orion. Yeah.
They didn't have a picture side by side or nothing?
You know what? I think actually they may have. Let me
Because I wanted to see. I didn't get to see it because that's one of the things I like about this show is a lot of times we do different stuff, so we don't get to see each other's stuff a lot. So
yeah, let me pull this back up real quick. Hang on. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hang on. Let me see.
yeah.
Oh, yep, there is. Hang on, just a second. Yep, there absolutely is. Hold on. Let me see. Is this the screen share?
I
No,
like to be the.
oh, no. Whoa,
I like
wait a
to.
minute. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I should say share screen on there.
Yeah. Did it come up?
I don't see it. Did you do share screen next to the little settings button? Well, I don't know what it looks like on your end.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything. So
Yeah. Hold on
nothing
a
at the
second.
bottom. Nothing at the bottom. So
Hold on a second. Yeah, I opened it. Hang on a second. All right, let me try this one more time. Share screen.
okay.
Share that. Share that. Will it not let
Yeah,
will it
there it
not
is.
let me share a screen?
There it goes. Chris Stringo is sharing the screen. There it goes. It just notified me. So, well, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Like Jesus Christ.
Okay, okay. I was gonna say
Huh.
it's right there.
Trying to spotlight it here.
Can you
There we go.
isolate that? Yeah. See, there we go. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can see
I mean,
that. I
it's
guess it's pretty
yeah. I
close.
mean, it's
I mean,
yeah.
how old is the top picture though?
It
That's the
is pretty damn
question.
close. I mean, you can even 2024.
The top picture is.
The dude
Oh,
from Orion commissioned the artwork just last year.
oh wow, wow. So they come across it like that, or they
Yeah.
just.
So it's like
So what I'm saying is, did they come across that
I
artwork
don't know where.
and not to give the guy credit for it, or what the hell happened? That's kind of to
I,
me it looks like almost
what
exactly
it
the same.
was. It is. But I mean, Ben Jones, uh, the hold on a second. The guy Ben Jones, the mastermind behind the rock outfit Orion, he was the one who commissioned the artwork
Okay,
for the album that came out just last year.
okay.
So I mean, August of 2024 is when the album came out.
Oh, for the
So you got
Lightbringers
to
album,
think that the
gotcha, gotcha.
artwork, even if the artwork was done, yeah. So even if the artwork was commissioned while the album was being done, you have to figure that because the album came out in August and here we
Right.
are in February. So 6 months ago, 6 months between the time that the Orion album came out and the Dream Theater album came out. So let's just back it up a little bit from the
Yeah, I was
Orion
saying.
album.
Yeah, because I was saying the
Let's
Dream
just
Theater
say
just came
that they
out,
were
right?
working. Yeah, just came out. Like
Yeah, like a week
just
or two
came
ago.
out.
Yeah,
So
last week. Yeah.
yeah, like a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. So there's only 6 months between the two albums, and Ben Jones commissioned the artwork, like he said in the story, it's supposed to be exclusively for his album. So it's
Right.
not like it was like a pre-existing piece of artwork that he
Uh huh.
just tried to use. No, this was an original piece of artwork
Gotcha.
that this guy commissioned, and now it's in two different albums. I can totally understand why he's pissed.
Well, yeah.
I can
I
totally
mean,
understand why he's pissed.
if it's his picture, he should definitely get commissioned for it. So, I mean, obviously they, like he said, they've worked it
Yeah,
out, and Dream Theater's like, well, fuck, we'll just pay you, dude. I mean, like, ain't like we don't have the money.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it may have been, it may have been unintentional. I guess that's kind of why they're just like, oh well, we didn't know, and it's already out there. So
Well,
yeah,
on Dream Theater's
I don't know.
well on Dream Theater's part, sure, but I mean, the artist has got some explaining to do, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. You know, how you gonna do it for two different people when it's commissioned for one? It's kind
Right,
of yeah. I
right.
mean, to me, that's gonna probably, like you said, metalheads don't forget. So I mean, that's probably some of
Hmm.
the things you don't do with metalheads is you know something crazy like that because they remember. I mean, I'll see stuff sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So it's like, it's
Oh yeah.
so yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, they may hurt his career trying to do any album covers. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, it very well could.
All right, before I get to our big story here, I got one more over from Loudwire. Shadow of Intent vocalist Ben Dewar has issued a statement about the recent abuse allegations made against him, as reported by the PRP, one of Chris's favorite sources there.
Yeah.
A woman named Brittany Carroll, who claimed to be Durr's partner, created a series of posts on social media on February 7th, accusing the singer of abuse. Publication started that Carroll shared footage of an argument with the musician, as well as photos of alleged injuries he inflicted upon her. Carroll's Instagram page, which was linked in the PRP's article, has seemingly been deactivated. Imagine that. But there are screenshots of some of her posts on X that we have opted not to include in the story. Both Carroll and Dewar have since commented on the allegations, keeping let's see. Also, it said, keep in mind, if you or someone you know is facing abuse, visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline website. And that's a kind of a disclaimer they have to post, I think, in the article because that's what they're commenting on. So,
Hmm.
just kind of like if you're doing a suicide thing, you have to do the suicide
Suicide
awareness.
prevention hotline. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's true. Like, I don't care. So, this is the thing. I would rather somebody come forward now and then wait 20 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come forward now. I don't care. There's protection for you out there. They will protect you. If you're 100% done with this person and you do not want to be around them, then fucking call this thing, get some help, get some protection, and get the
Hmm.
hell out, dude.
Yeah.
No, I always say you only live one life, man. There's no reason to be miserable in a relationship. So,
Hell no.
especially when you know, if you know, if you don't know, there's about 4 women to every guy in the world. So I mean, there's so I mean, there's plenty of like when I say there's plenty of fish in the sea right now, there's plenty of fish in the sea right now. So
That's 100%
uh,
true.
yeah, so anyway, and it says you also have an alternative option to call 1-800-799-SAFE, which is 1-800-799-7233. So getting into the allegations. Um, Lambgoat received a statement from Carol on February 8th addressing the allegations she made against Durr. Most of you don't know me, but I owe everyone an explanation for the video and pictures I posted. Ben and I have been struggling in a toxic relationship for a long time. This sounds so familiar, by the way.
Hmm.
Essentially, we're just not compatible. I love him, and I don't think that will ever go away. He's the best dad I could ask for Max. Unfortunately, though, I was not treated well when I was pregnant with Max. I'm not going to go into that because it's mental abuse and no one understands or cares about shit like that. Which, yes, they do. I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely care about that. So that's another thing that I hate about people, victims saying, "Oh, people don't care." They do care. You're just not talking to the right people. I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll be real when we were emotionally abusing each other, even if we didn't know it at the time, because that's what happens in toxic relationships. It's almost never just one person who is the problem. Just comes down to us not being compatible. As I said, the only time Ben ever intentionally physically hurt me was when he threw me across the floor when I thought I was pregnant. The arm bruises came from him holding my arms, and the skids on my knees were obviously from skidding across the carpet. Was it though? Just kidding. But
Right.
Ben,
Yeah.
Ben's not very good with personal space, and we would end up both getting hurt when I was trying to get away from him. That's why I would usually just lock myself in the bathroom. When I was pregnant, I recorded him because it was the only way I could protect myself and Max. Stress obviously isn't good for a baby, and this is my issue with Ben. He just didn't take me being pregnant seriously, so why is all this coming up now? Well, I just found out I'm pregnant again, and I'm absolutely unwilling to repeat that cycle. These babies deserve better, so I foolishly went to the internet thinking that people just tell him you can't do that, and he would stop. Because unfortunately, none of his friends who I originally went to with this information were willing to tell him that it wasn't okay. No one wants to tell Ben shit because fuck, he's Ben. I didn't want to leave him. I was just wanted us to finally figure shit out. Now I see that I was stupid for thinking like that. No one could have saved our relationship, and that's all it is to it. Just a shitty ass ending to almost 10 years of trying. So currently, while yes, I do have some support, most people are just shitting all over me, and it's disgusting. This is the last I will say regarding this situation. I just want to move on and try to heal. So Ben actually responded to that 3 days later. Ben Doer issues his statement. He took to Instagram on February the 11th to address the allegations made against him by Carol. According to his post, he's been engaged to Carol for nearly a decade and they have two children together. Um, hey everyone, I need to clear up some questions that I have been receiving lately about Brittany Carroll, my fiance for nearly 10 years and mother of my children and myself. I have never abused or otherwise caused physical violence to any woman, especially not the mother of my children, and of course not while she was pregnant. After talking, she and I have come to the agreement to part ways and are both going to therapy to be the best parents we can for our kids, our two kids. We both agree that the prior incident referred to in the video that she recently shared was truly an accident and now civilly working through things for the well being of our children. So, this is kind of one of those things where I don't know, man. It's kind of it's still some unanswered questions to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Seems suspicious.
Mhm. And this is kind of going back to kind of the not quite
The
not quite the Tim Lebesis thing, but
Right.
we've been
It,
talking about, and then and we can go back another year where this kind of happened to shit, Johnny Hawkins from Nothing
hmm
More, where his girlfriend was actually abusive, and band members were saying that. We kept telling Johnny to get the hell out, man. She's crazy and all this other stuff. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's not always the guy. I mean, which kind of it makes her look like she's trying to own up to her part of what happened too, because she obviously said she was mentally abusing him as well. So I mean, and then to come around 3 days later and say, it's all civilly being handled. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that,
That's
dude.
a
If that's,
that's a
yeah,
really quick turnaround.
yeah, I'm not buying it 3 days later with the post she made, and you so like just trying to. I mean, to me, it sounds like he's trying to cover his own ass. I don't know, but
Sounds
who
like
knows?
damage control. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we gotta, people gotta realize that just because you're Hollywood or you're, a musician or whatever the case may be, you can't just do things to people just because of who you are. I mean, that's not how
That's
this
right.
works. And you're gonna fuck around the wrong person, especially somebody ghetto, and you're gonna get your ass fucked up. So, uh,
Yep.
so there's always that. So,
Yep. That's true.
so, so yeah,
I mean, if they work it out, I mean, I guess good for them. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems
I mean, I
like
don't know why would you do that though. If you just sat there and said you wasted 10 years, I mean,
oh,
you've already committed that you wasted 10 years. There's no going back. You're already your mindset is it's wasted. So
mhm.
so why try to salvage something you wasted? I have no idea. Like
Yeah. I don't know. I
that's just
mean,
you know
and I will say from experience that doing something just for the good of the children
it's not
doesn't
always
work.
the good. Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah.
I have
So
experience with that very
always.
thing.
Um,
Giving it a go just for the children, and it's not. If that's the only reason, it's not a good reason.
Well, no, because you could be separated and still be there for your children. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't
So
have to be together. So, I
right,
mean, if you're making so this is the thing. If you're doing it for the sake of the children, you would just split up because
right,
obviously you two people together are a nuclear bomb.
combustible. Yeah,
So
combustible.
you're right, combustible elements. And the kids are going to be the victims of all that in the long run because they're going to see it, witness all of it. So I mean, cut your losses and let them be a be
Provide
a be a single parent to each side and go about your way. I mean,
yeah,
that's the best way to handle
provide
it.
two stable environments instead of
That's right.
one unhealthy one. Yeah.
Unstable. There you go. That's a good way to put it. So.
All right, moving over to Metal Sucks for my
That is
last
that
one.
is that is your Metalheads Unite therapy session. So
That's right. Yeah,
that'd be
that's right.
150 if y'all are, want our cash app or anything.
That's
So
right. Yeah, that's right. All right, heading over to Metal Sucks for my last one. This one's kind of strange. Ozzy Osbourne finds himself in the weirdest of legal trouble as he's being sued for posting photos of himself on social media. Yep, you read that correctly. According to Billboard, Osbourne is being sued by famous rock photographer Neil Zlozauer, saying that Osbourne posted photos of himself to social media that were legally owned by Zlozauer without seeking permission or paying a licensing fee. According to the text of the lawsuit, quote, the accounts are key components of defendant's popular and lucrative commercial enterprise. Defendant has over 12 million followers on Facebook and over 6 million followers on Instagram and over 5 million followers on X, all of which are monetized and provide significant financial benefits to the defendant. End quote. Billboard also reports that Osbourne isn't the first celebrity to be slapped with a lawsuit of this nature, with similar copyright cases being brought in recent years against Miley Cyrus, LeBron James, and Justin Bieber. In fact, Zlozauer in particular has launched suits over similar situations with photos of Elvis Costello, Guns N' Roses, and Motley Crue. Personally, I would think someone posting photos of themselves without permission of the photographer would be a situation where the photographer would just be like, hey, can you not do that? And celebrity would be like, oops, my bad, taking them down. But apparently Zlozauer tried that and never heard back from Osbourne, forcing him to file a lawsuit. Didn't really force him to do anything, if you ask me.
right.
Old people don't particularly seem to understand social media very well, and this whole situation seems confusing, even to people who do understand social media. So I guess I can understand how this misunderstanding happened. Regardless, I doubt that even if Ozzy loses the lawsuit, the losses will amount to much more than a drop in the bucket for the legendary metal. And even though that wasn't me writing it, I agree wholeheartedly. So
You
we'll see where
know.
that goes. And not that there's not enough pictures of Ozzy Osbourne all over the internet. So it's not like if he does have
Right.
to take them down, it'll be like, ah, damn, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's kind of, it seems a bit petty to me, but
it
whatever.
does, especially since this guy does seem lawsuit happy. And don't get me wrong. I know there's going to be some people out there going, well, those are his pictures. He took them, and I get it. But at the same time, he Ozzy posted a picture of himself. Get the fuck over yourself. Not like if we were
Yeah,
posting, like if we did it, fine. Get a
yeah,
hold of
but here,
us and be like, hey, this is exclusive. This is my property. You need to do something. We'd be like, oh, hey, dude, no problem. But you're
hmm.
suing Ozzy Osbourne over Ozzy Osbourne posting a picture of Ozzy Osbourne on Ozzy Osbourne's social media. You realize how dumb that
I get,
sounds?
I get he took the picture, but who paid him to take the picture?
True.
I mean, if it was Ozzy's record label or management group, then he can get fucked, man, because
Yeah.
they've already paid you for your
Yeah.
service. So, I mean, he can post whatever the fuck he wants. So,
And we all know that Ozzy's management group is his wife anyway.
well, yeah. Well, the thing is like, when I do headshots for acting, we go and we take a bunch of pictures. You know what I mean? And the guy be like, okay, this is what I do. I'll do five edits, to the best pictures. I'll take the five best pictures. I'll edit them for you for whatever price. The rest of them's yours to do what you want to do with. So you get the whole disc. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's yours. You paid him for the service of taking the picture already. So I mean, I can do what the fuck I want to with them at this point because it's
Right.
mine because I paid for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know.
You
So
paid for the
unless
service,
you
and then
unless you out here
somebody.
taking pictures of Ozzy for free and then trying to get money out of it, I mean, I don't see what the point of this whole thing is. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
because like I said, he's probably already been paid for his service. So,
more than likely. Yeah.
so I don't know. I think that's going to be a probably throw him the fuck out, honestly.
That's the thing is, I mean, in the story it says he's filed lawsuits against a bunch of other artists, but it doesn't say whether he was successful or not.
Yeah, well,
Maybe he
probably.
was because he keeps doing it.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Well,
Maybe he
maybe the
was.
next judge, maybe the next judge will see that and be like, "Hold on, man, there's something wrong here." So, because I mean, all the other court cases are going to be public too, and it's going to be brought up in this court case.
That's true.
All right, this is my last one. Save the best for last because we're probably going to be ranting for a minute, like we hadn't already. But as Chris Zinzak posted in the Rockin' Pod page the other days, and you know, you get on tyrants and stuff. Like, yeah, we get on tirades all the time, man. Like, I think if we didn't veer off somewhere along the way, I think something's wrong with the show. So.
Yep.
I mean, this has been pretty much everywhere, but I took it off of Metal Sucks. It says, I'm still convinced that the primary purpose of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is to give something to bitch about when they inevitably make decisions that not everyone agrees with. So I'm sure our comment section is going to be filled with a great deal of lively debate following the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations that were released early this morning. Oh, wait, hold on. Scans the list of someone relevant to Metal Sucks. I guess Soundgarden is close enough, right? Yes, you heard that correctly. Soundgarden are the hardest band on this year's list, um, which I don't even know if that's probably true. I mean,
Probably,
Billy Idol's on that list. I mean, he's pretty heavy. So,
yeah.
uh, I mean,
I
early
mean,
Soundgarden, maybe
I
you
was
know,
just about to say
yeah,
like Bad
yeah, Rusty
Motorfinger,
Cage, yeah.
maybe.
Rusty Cage and Outshine, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but
But anyway, let's go ahead and give you the full list so we can talk about it. So nominees are Bad Company, The Black Crows, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, which I get.
I
You know,
get.
Joe Cocker, which I get. Billy Idol, Joy Division, New Order. I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
Cindy Lauper, which I mean, she is a, I guess she was
She was
probably a pop
she
star
was
before
pop.
pop was.
She was like pop rock, I guess, at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody knew what pop was at that time. Really, it was all hip hop
Right.
and R&B. So, um, and then you had Mana. I have no idea what that is.
No idea who it is.
Oasis, Outcast, which are definitely hip hop. Fish, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, the White Stripes have been nominated the past two times we've talked about this. Um,
I
so
honestly don't remember.
I think
Maybe.
they're determined to get them in there. Uh, of the 14 nominees that will eventually be whittled down to about 5 to 7, 8 of them are being considered for the first time, namely Bad Company, Black Crows, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Mana, Outcast, and Fish, according to Loudwire. The range of when the artists got started in their careers starts in 1958 with Chubby Checker and goes to 1997 with the White Stripes. The new list of nominees will obviously do nothing to end the one big beef that metalheads have with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is their continued snubbing of Motorhead. For the
Not to mention Iron Maiden.
for the uninitiated, the Hall of Fame only nominated Motorhead once in 2020, and the band was not even voted in. Um, it's not a great list, but out of just these 14 artists, many votes may go to Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Billy Idol, and Joy Division, New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, and Soundgarden. If Fish somehow beats out Motorhead into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there is no justice in this world. So that's their opinion, not mine. But I would probably agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree that it's already, we've already said what we think about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
It's a, it's a, it's a it's kind of like everything else. This kind of reminds me and kind of links in with, you know what? I'll save that for later because I think I got it in the. Yeah, so I'll circle back to this a little bit. Oh, you catch me? Circle back, uh, but I'll circle back to that in a minute because there is something in the headlines that I had on there that we'll talk about a little bit too. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of that, and we'll kind of compare it in a little bit. But it's always like it seems it's more of a I don't know theatrical thing, I guess, than it is actual basing it on people's link to rock music. I guess I don't know. It's like a popularity contest, I guess, or something. I don't know, but it's just it's unreal how they do this thing. And then I've said this 100 times. If they were to call it the Music Hall of Fame, I wouldn't have a problem with who they put in there.
Mhm.
But it's the fact that you say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the thing is, you putting people like Dolly Parton and people like that in it. But there's a Country Music Hall of Fame down the road that Sammy Hagar can't get in. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like there's no there's no
There is
give.
nothing.
It's all give. It's all take and no give. I mean, it's like
Yeah. There's nothing wrong, and we've talked about it before. There's nothing. Anthrax is never going to be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and
right.
they shouldn't be. Just
But even though they did a hip hop song, they still won't be
but
there.
that's the thing is they've only done the one. So to me, that doesn't give
Count,
them the
yeah,
right to be part of the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about that at all. Why? Anthrax is not hip hop. They did one
right.
collaboration, just like Faith No More. Faith No More shouldn't get into
Hmm.
the Hip Hop Hall of Fame for Epic.
Right.
I would not be mad at that. I would not be mad at the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. I would not be mad at the Country Music Hall of Fame for excluding Sammy Hagar, like you said. Outcast, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they even
I
doing?
mean, like great artists in their own right genre, but you're in the
Yeah,
Rock and Roll Hall of
they
Fame.
should
It's like
be eligible for that. I'm not discounting their
right.
talent or their career. What I'm doing, and I'm not even mad at them.
No, it's
I'm not
not
even
their fault. I mean, they're not.
mad at the Hall of Fame because it's
Dolly,
bullshit.
Dolly even tried to give hers back. Remember, it's
She
like,
did. She tried to bow out and they wouldn't let her. I mean, for fuck's sake, you have the artist going, I don't belong here. And you're like, well, fuck it, you're gonna be here anyway. How stupid are you?
yeah, Adam Copeland's got to step up or something. Man.
Someone needs to do something, man.
That's fucking
Or
crazy.
like you said, just change the goddamn name.
That's what
Because
I would do. I'm like, just
you have a genre specific Hall of Fame that you won't even follow your own goddamn rules.
mm,
And I can't even remember the guy who's the chairman. That guy needs has the shit slapped out of him.
yeah,
Because he's always like, oh well, oh, people who are upset at our choices just don't understand the definition of rock and roll. You need to fuck off with that because
no,
you are the
you
one
don't
that
understand.
you don't understand.
Let me tell you, Outkast has never wrote a rock song.
No,
That was one of like the bands that growing up, Susie used to listen to. She's like, yeah, and she likes a couple of their songs, which is fine. I mean, I don't care, but when she has control of the radio, what's the driver has the radio, you shut your pie hole, so
yeah. Like
so
isn't Outcast Bombs Over Baghdad?
I have no idea.
Is that
I have
Outcast? I don't know. I don't know.
I
That might
don't
be
remember. I know
if I
they.
got if I got that right. That's probably the only Outcast song I know. But I know one thing is for fucking sure: Mariah Carey has never played a goddamn instrument,
Right.
unless you count the skin flute. But I mean, you know.
They are bombs over Baghdad, actually. So,
Okay, that's probably the only fucking Outcast song I know
yeah,
is "Bombs Over Baghdad."
yeah.
But
I just knew like I knew a
well,
couple of
no,
them.
wait a
Like
minute, wait a minute,
hey
wait a
hey
minute.
ya, and
I was about to say Outcast is "Hey Ya" too, right? Okay,
that
I got,
roses
I know,
that roses song was always funny to me. So
I
I
know,
always
I know, I know two Outcast songs. Okay, I did
yeah.
better than I thought I would. I know two.
Then
Okay.
they sing Miss Jackson. Sorry Miss Jackson, I am
Oh,
for
that's them
real.
too.
Yep. So
Okay.
three Outcast songs.
Okay, shit. I knew more than
And
I
then
thought, but
yeah yeah
that they still shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of
yeah they
Fame.
no not the
Put
Rock and Roll Hall of
put them
Fame.
in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame all day.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, they probably will be there one day because of their contribution to the music. Because they changed the sound of hip hop when they came around. So, they were kind of compared to Nirvana, the way Nirvana changed, the rock scene at the
Yeah.
time. So then
I,
so what they kind of
I
did to
just
hip hop. So
I just don't. And the funny thing is like if it's all in the name of inclusion, that's fine. There are plenty of African American, African, whoever. There are plenty of black rock. I'm fine with Chubby Checker being in there.
well,
You're
yeah,
talking
because
about what he did in the
he
late
was a
'50s? Are you kidding me?
yeah
He
yeah
absolutely should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
right
So it's not about black, white, or whatever.
no
It's about the music. I don't give a shit what color you are. Jimi Hendrix, Prince, Chubby Checker. I mean, Living Color. I mean, the amount of people that
right
we've talked about on this show during Black History Month,
right
we have no problem. We have no problem with anybody of any ethnicity. We have a problem with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's who we have a problem with.
year over year actually. So
Year over, yeah, it just seems to keep getting worse. I mean, for
I mean, like
Christ's
it's
sake,
even bad. Like there's no metal bands at all on
nope,
the. I
not
mean,
one.
there was like at least Priest and Maiden and stuff the last few
Yeah.
years. And so you know,
And they're still even though Bruce Dickinson said he doesn't want to be part of it at this point it's the principle of the thing for me.
who's
It's the
the
principle of the
who's
thing.
who's the band that got in and didn't show up? There was one band that got in and didn't show up. They're like,
I don't remember. I'd have to look, but
yeah.
if,
But that's pretty funny.
for
That's
me
pretty
it's
funny.
for me it's
Let you know how
yeah,
much it means to them.
yeah, to me it's the principle of the thing.
It is.
You're
Yeah, it
talking about a
is.
band who's been around for 50 years now and has been
Snubbed
influential and iconic in heavy metal.
and just been
50
snubbed
years.
year after year.
Actually, 50 years this year, to be honest. They were formed in 1975. So 50
Yep.
years this year. So
Crazy. Yeah, I think that's the tour they're going on, right? The 50th anniversary
I
tour. So
believe so. Yeah. I mean, it should be because this is their 50th year. But yeah, so it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm
yeah,
sure we'll be pissed off about it again next year. But
right.
I mean, just stop making stupid decisions. Stop making dumb decisions.
I mean, you got plenty of bands that do, like you said, Motorhead. All those guys are older. That's not in there. So I mean,
Hmm.
why? Why are they not there? Like I don't get. Like, are you waiting on every member to die? I mean, I don't get it. So nobody's there to accept the fucking thing. It's like,
Right? Yeah. I mean,
what's it? Who's the only one left? Shit. Went
Mickey
blank.
D.
Mickey D. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's drumming for the Scorpions now.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Which I
Mickey
mean, are
D's
they
doing
in,
well.
are they even in the Hall of Fame? I mean,
I doubt it. And they're
that's what I'm
they're
saying.
working they're working on their 60th year.
Yeah.
They're
So I
they're
mean,
working on they're working on 60 years.
yeah.
A 60 year career is
And let
in
me say, and
60
let me
years
say,
is not anything.
and,
God
and let
almighty.
me say this. I heard a recent video. I watched it on YouTube. I think a week or so ago. I don't know if I talked about this last week or not, but I watched a YouTube video with him doing a live version of "Still Loving You." Man,
Oh, Klaus Meine?
he still sounds great, dude. Like
Yeah.
how do you still sound like at 76? I don't know, dude. That's crazy.
Mhm.
He's still hitting the notes and everything, and you could tell it wasn't like you know none of that track bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
he was it wasn't perfect, but it was good. You know what I mean? It was still
Yeah.
like he was still like I was like man, he still can get up there.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy. Like I said, there's no age limit on music, man. You can play that shit till you die. I mean,
Hmm.
so all right. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, this will run down a couple of headlines here, and then we'll probably get into another rant in a minute. So, uh, Glenn
Maybe.
Danzig said. Glenn Danzig said, "I don't know if I'm ever going to record new music again." So, I mean, you know, I don't know. Some people may be upset about that. Some people probably not so much. But I know one of the outlets I looked at was definitely kind of not. You know, they said finally. I was just like, wow, that's kind of fucked up, but okay. uh, so the actually talking about the Scorpions biopic Wind of Change is going to be shooting in May. So hopefully they'll do them justice with that. So Tim Ripper Owens would like to write an autobiography, but I'm not writing a book that's not paying me. He said. So I mean,
As much as I like Tim, that sounds like Tim.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That 100%
Well,
sounds like
well, I mean that's the kind of the thing. Why would I do anything I'm not getting paid to do though? I mean,
yeah. No, I get it. I do get it.
I mean, have you seen what it costs to go meet uh, Randy Blythe on his new book signing tour? And I'm not paying that to go fucking meet him and sign a book. Shit,
No, I didn't
like,
see it.
like $130 a ticket. Like, fuck that, dude. I'm not.
Yeah, hell out of
I don't
here.
even pay that to see you in concert. Like, why would I?
Right. Yeah,
Oh man, but I mean, to each their own. I'm sure he's gonna do. I'm sure he'll do a lot though. I mean, he'll
he
probably
will.
he'll probably sell a lot, but
He
it's not
will.
just going. It's not gonna be for me because I'm not that guy. So, I like my stuff, but I like it. I like to collect my stuff, but I like it reasonable. So,
Sure.
yeah, which reminds me, I forgot to tell you we should have did a show and tell, but that's all right.
We'll
Well, I
get it.
forget about. Well, I forget about we do that. Until I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot we could have did a show and tell, but
We'll get around to doing another one.
yeah, so I mean, we got plenty of shit to do. So I mean, it ain't like we're lacking anything, and I'm buying new shit all the time. So by the time I get to the end of that, this shit will be 5 years old. So
It's true.
then Jeff Mantas Dunn on Tony Dolan says, as long as I have a breath left in me on this planet, I will never speak to him again. So that's
I saw that.
needless to say, there will never be a Venom reunion. Don't think so. Unless one of them dies. I mean, obviously. So, uh, which I mean, Venom Inc.'s doing well, fine on their own.
Yep.
Killswitch engages Mike D'Antonio, denies using artificial intelligence to create the Consequence album art, which, I mean, to me, I think this is who fucking cares if he did? Like, everybody's gonna dibble with that shit at some point. You know what I mean? I mean, you got fucking M Shadows from Vince Sevenfold talking about, oh, I think it's great. We should include it in all our albums going forward. Like, no, motherfucker, you should not.
No, you
Or maybe,
shouldn't.
I don't know, maybe you should. So maybe it'll sound better, but I don't know.
No.
But I just don't get the fucking hate over it. I mean, one band does it for one time. I mean, who gives a shit? But I mean, he's probably honestly saying, "Hey, we paid somebody to do this. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." So,
Hmm.
you know, everything just because something looks like AI doesn't mean it's always AI. I mean,
Well, that's true.
some artists put little mistakes in their shit because that's what they do to
Hmm.
say. Because I remember reading about an artist that done that when I was at the Frisk one time. They said, "Oh yeah, well, he always did this or did that with like a swish or something. Like he did it in every one of his paintings. And when I go on through and look, I could spot him. I was like, oh shit." And then they said that was his thing. That was his imperfection on the painting. But that was his mark. So he knew that was his. So couldn't nobody come up and say, "Oh, well, this is yours." He says, "No, but it doesn't have that swish in it. It's not mine."
Yep.
So, so I
It's
mean,
little kind of like a little bit of a trademark thing
right,
built.
right, without actually signing the piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, each their own. If they did, he did. If you don't, if the music's good, I mean, as long as you're not creating a fucking music out of AI, I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But sick of it all, Lou Collar undergoes final chemotherapy treatment for his esophageal tumor. So hopefully, all ends well with that.
Yep.
So I know we're only nipping into 2025 right now, but guess what? We have our first album of 2026 announced. So Trivium is plotting a new record for 2026 inspired by Ascendancy. So
I'm in.
there you go. Yeah, I'm all for that. So I just think it's crazy to be talking about 2026 so early. It's like, wow.
I know.
Then Marty Friedman on Megadeth said, "I don't think we cared as much about Metallica as people put in the press." So, which I
Well,
kind of
maybe.
it's probably true.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not as the collective. There's one
Right?
person who just can't seem
Yeah,
to let it
maybe.
go.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. And I don't get me wrong. I love Megadeth. I like Dave, but
Some
and
things,
and they and hey and we have admitted on this show that Dave got done wrong.
yeah.
But at this
Well, I mean,
point, I mean,
Metallica. I mean, James and them's even admitted to it at this point.
yeah,
They're just
yeah.
like, "Yeah,
I
man, we were
mean,
young kids, man. Fuck it.
yeah. I mean, you're in your 60s now. I mean,
Let that shit go.
you've
Bygones be
had a
by.
you've
I
had
mean,
you've had a
I mean,
successful career.
the crazy thing is you've shared a stage with him since that. So,
You
like,
have.
it's like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Uh, you didn't mind taking that Metallica money when you was opening for him, though, did you? Uh, oh man. Uh, so new another album release for this year just got announced. Tetrarch, their new album is dropping on May 9th, so not long
Oh
around the
yeah.
corner there. So they've already had two singles from that album out, so pretty
I
pretty
need to get
solid.
caught up on this too.
And this is going to be the first album where Diamond is actually going to do some vocals on. So
Heard about
so
that.
it's, yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting to hear her do some stuff on there. Typo Negative's guitarist is open to Peter Steele tribute shows with different singers. So I mean, if he's okay. I mean, they're surviving members. So, I mean, whatever they want to do, I guess. So
Yep.
uh,
There's
it did.
the other three guys are still there. There's no reason why they can't.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're all willing to do it and do it, I mean, just kind of like the Pantera thing. I mean, they're there. Everybody was on board with doing it, and they got permission for the states to do it. So
That's right.
there you go.
I
Everybody,
mean,
and they're still doing it because they're making money for everybody. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So this is the thing. Dimebag and Vinny are still making our money off Pantera long after they're gone. So
Yes, they are.
you know, so it's crazy. It's crazy to think because that's like 20 years now since Dimebag's been gone and he's still making
Hmm.
money off Pantera,
Yep.
as he should. I mean, because
Absolutely.
without him changing that guitar style, we wouldn't probably know the Pantera we know right now. So.
Absolutely not.
Speaking of guitars, it didn't feel that good. There was nothing special about it other than it had belonged to Kurt Cobain. That's what Opeth's Michael Ackerfeld was said about the Nirvana frontman's guitar that he got to play. He said he wasn't that impressed. So I was like, okay, uh, it's kind of funny, honestly. But and then,
Well, I mean, I'm sure it probably did feel just like another guitar, but that's the thing is, I mean, it's the provenance of it.
well, right, yeah,
Have a great
and
show, Michael Cole and Ricky. Okay, well, I guess I'm Michael Cole.
I guess
I
so.
mean, I guess I've been called worse. I've
Yeah.
been called worse.
All right, and for those about to collect, we salute you. Royal Mail is launching a range of ACDC postage stamps. That's kind of interesting. And then the one that I wanted to talk about was, if people don't know, the next Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco, and no, Metallica probably will not be playing that. So quit fucking asking because, it says Super Bowl. What is it? 60
Six,
now? Yeah,
60.
it's coming to San Francisco in 2026, which means it's time to ask if Metallica will play. Right? Uh, yeah, no, they're not gonna. They're not gonna play, dude. Like James already said that it's more of a spectacle than it is a concert. He said we're musicians, we're artists. We're not going out there to do a spectacle. so, and he says that's fine. That's what they're looking for that show. They're not looking for musicians and artists. They're looking for somebody to create a spectacle. So
That is true.
so and when he said that, I'm like, man, that's probably a damn good way to put that because that's actually what it is. Because I mean, it's nothing, you know, you're not going out there because I feel like if they were to go out there and do it, they're probably going to pay three songs. They'll probably pick like three songs to play, and they would probably play them, and then instead of crunching up 10 songs into one, what I mean, playing parts of each one.
Hmm.
That's
Well, I
not
mean,
that's not.
they've done medleys before, but I mean, at the
Well,
same
yeah,
time,
but you know,
so I don't know.
it's
Honestly,
just
they won't do it,
well,
but I just
there's no money in it for one. I
well, no,
mean,
well, no, there's
not
no
that they
money.
need it, but
They don't.
Metallica's not going to do anything for
They don't.
free. So
But they don't need the money, and they don't need the exposure because
exactly,
everyone was like, "Oh my God, Kendrick Lamar's not going to get paid." No halftime show performer gets paid.
it's paid.
It's not like they just automatically decided not to pay Kendrick Lamar. That's not how it went. Nobody gets paid. They all get paid by the multi millions of people who watch.
Mm-hmm.
Metallica doesn't need that, and they don't need any money if there was money, if there isn't. But at the same time, I'll say this: if they were to get asked, do it because just like the Hall of Fame thing with Iron Maiden. At this point, it's the principle of the thing for me. If you get asked, do it.
Well, that's like the
You won't.
thing.
They
He's
won't. They won't. They won't
well,
get
no, because
asked.
of they're not
No,
because of their age. They won't get asked because of how old they are. They're not going to
So I
because
mean,
he even said that. He said we're not in our 20s and 30s. We can't go around jumping on stage and shit no more. That's what they want. They want people to jump around and get everybody
yeah,
hyped up and stuff for the second half. And he said that's
yeah,
not who we are. So we can go out there and play, three metal songs. That's what they want. But there's not going to be any, jumping and
yeah.
all
Truth,
that bullshit. So
truth be told, I wish they would just. You know what? I want to watch a goddamn football game, and I don't want halftime to be three times as long just because they have to have a fucking concert in between the first and
right,
second half. Just have it be 17 or 18 minutes long, the normal halftime length.
right.
Get back to the goddamn game. But I mean, so if Metallica was to get asked because it's Super Bowl 60 and it's in San Francisco, if you get asked, do it. Will you get asked? No. So
I mean, from what he said, I don't think he would do it anyway. From what he was saying, he's like, I don't have no interest in it.
no,
So
no. So
maybe Dave use that and say Megadeth to do it. Uh, all right, I guess that will take us into hitting the road, and I did not have anything mainly because there's two there's two different festivals going on right now, and they're still adding to it. So hopefully,
yeah,
Modern Life's going to be a while. Modern Life's going to be a while. They still got like
it's
130
gonna
bands.
be
They still got like 130 bands to announce for that. But
yeah, it's
there's
gonna be
another
a
one.
minute.
There's another one that's close. So once it drops, and then we'll announce on that one. But
Yeah,
yeah, so and Ladder Life's shaping up to be pretty good. So
yeah. All right. Well, hitting the road then will be a solo adventure this go around, I guess, this week. For the week of the 8th through the 14th, leading off at the PRP.com as always, Earth Tone 9 will be celebrating their 25th anniversary of their Arctangent album on their UK and Ireland tour. They will be doing full album performances starting September 18th in Lincoln, England at The Drill, finishing December 14th in Belfast, Ireland at Voodoo. Atoll, Demon King, Cesspool of Corruption, and Rat King are going on the U.S. tour starting April 11th in Fayetteville, Arkansas at Waystone Pizza, finishing April 20th in Dallas, Texas at Reno's Chop Shop. Rat King will not be at that show. From a Second Story Window has announced uh, four uh, four shows. A couple of in March, couple in August. March 8th in Columbus, Ohio at Donato's Basement, featuring See You Next Tuesday, Samara, and Dance Like the Dead. March 28th in Cleveland, Ohio at No Class, which is ironic for Ohio, featuring Nightmare Unit, Samara, and Gut Gash. August 23rd in August 23rd in Detroit at the Sanctuary, and August 23rd in Chicago. I didn't even
Wow.
notice that when I didn't even notice that when I posted it. How can you do two shows in two cities on the same day? So that's got to be
I don't
wrong.
know.
I don't know.
What were the two cities?
August 23rd, one in Detroit and one in Chicago. I don't understand this.
I mean,
One of those has got to
I
be a.
guess you could get there in time
I
if you
mean,
flew. I don't know.
you could if you're if you could, but I don't didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's probably a typo, I
It's
imagine.
got to
So.
be a typo somehow. But they're going to have a show in Detroit at the Sanctuary, and then they're going to have a show in Chicago at Sleeping Village, featuring See You Next Tuesday, He Who Corrupts, and Something Is Waiting. Wind Hand is going on a European and UK tour starting June 12th in London, England at the Black Heart, finishing June 21st in Clisson, France at Hellfest Open Air. Health and Author and Punisher are going on a U.S. tour this spring, starting May 3rd in New Orleans at the House of Blues, finishing May 15th in Daytona Beach, Florida at Welcome to Rockville. They'll be in Nashville May 11th at the Basement East. Sleep Theory, Never Tell, Oxymorons, and Stray View are going on a U.S. tour starting May 17th in Daytona Beach at Welcome to Rockville, finishing June 28th in Memphis, Tennessee at the Minglewood Hall. They will be in Nashville on June 26th at the Brooklyn Bowl. Steel Panther, Buck Cherry, and Kurt Dimer are going on a North American tour starting April 11th in Redding, California at the Redding Civic Center, finishing May 22nd in Granite Falls, Minnesota at Prairie's Edge Casino and Resort. Oddly enough, that is a Buck Cherry only show. I don't know how they worked that out. Ministry is going on a North American tour with Nitzer Ebb and Die Krups starting April 29th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Van Buren, finishing May 12th in Baltimore, Maryland at the Soundstage. Then with My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult and Die Krups starting May 13th in Philadelphia at the Franklin Music Hall, finishing June 5th in Las Vegas at the House of Blues. Scowl and Modern Color are going to Europe and to the UK starting May 5th in Manchester, England at Rebellion, finishing May 25th in Leeds, England at Slam Dunk. Signs of the Swarm, Chelsea Grin, Shadow of Intent, and Disembodied Tyrant are going a North American tour starting March 21st in Roseville, California at the Goldfield Trading Post, finishing April 19th in Salt Lake City, Utah at Depot. Then Signs of the Swarm have set up some headlining shows starting April 20th in Spokane, Washington at the Big Dipper, finishing April 29th in Indianapolis, Indiana at Black Circle. Make Them Suffer is going on an Australian tour with Justice for the Damned, The Gloom in the Corner, Dissect, Haraway, Hate Complex, and Run appearing at select dates on varying lineups, starting June 12th in Mackay at Seabreeze Hotel, finishing July 6th in Fremantle at Freo Social. The Smashing Pumpkins are going to Europe and to the UK, starting July 27th in Plovdiv, Bulgaria at Hills of Rock, finishing August 26th in Reykjavik, Iceland at the Laugardalshall Sports Center. Venom Inc., Christian, Hate, and Ater are going to Europe and to the UK starting April 23rd in Weinheim, Germany at the Café Central, finishing May 16th in Athens, Greece at the Gagarin. Lorna Shore is going on a European tour. Signs of the Swarm, Mental Cruelty, Shaver, and Fit for an Autopsy appearing at select dates. Starting June 5th in Berlin, Germany at Huxley's, featuring Signs of the Swarm and Mental Cruelty, finishing June 29th in Helsinki, Finland at the Tuska Festival. Converge is going on a U.S. tour starting March 9th. No, May 9th. I'm sorry. May 9th at Sonic Temple, finishing July 25th in Cutbank, Montana at Fire in the Mountains. They will be in Nashville May 12th at the Basement East. Sanguisuga Bog, 200 Stab Wounds, Griddian, and Mutilatrid are going on a North American tour starting May 9th in Winnipeg, Manitoba at the Manitoba Metal Fest. That is Sanguisuga Bog only, finishing May 20th in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Lincoln Theater. Static X, Dope, Wednesday 13, and Drowning Pool are going to Europe and to the UK starting July 26th in Belgrade, Serbia at the Hangar Luka Beograd, finishing August 16th in Eindhoven, Netherlands at the Dynamo Metal Fest. Vulvodynia, The Last 10 Seconds of Life, Organectomy, and Wormhole are going on a North American tour starting July 24th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade, finishing August 24th in Houston, Texas at Scout Bar. 10-5-6, and While She Sleeps will be at the non France shows only, starting February 25th. So that one's coming up pretty quick in Flensburg, Germany at the Deutsches Haus, finishing May 4th in Lille, France at Black Lab. The Lucid will play their first ever live show at the Guitars Under the Stars Festival in Eugene, Oregon. That will be held from July 31st to August 2nd. So our friend Drew Fortier will be
Yeah.
finally hitting the stage for the first time ever live with the Lucid. So that's good to know.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
The Night Flight Orchestra has announced 4 Australian shows. May 29th in Melbourne at Max Watts, May 30th in Brisbane at Crowbar, May 31st in Sydney at Crowbar, and June 1st in Adelaide at the Gov. Green Jelly and the Convalescents are going to the UK starting May 9th in Blackpool, England at Bootleg Social, finishing May 24th in London, England at the Underworld. POD, Godsmack, and Drowning Pool are going on a European tour starting March 22nd in Sofia, Bulgaria at Arena Sofia, finishing April 12th in Oberhausen, Germany at the Turbinen Hall. Then POD has a trio of headlining dates in Europe. April 13th in Tilburg, Netherlands at 013, April 16th in Prague, Czechia at the Roxy, and April 18th in Warsaw, Poland at Progressia. Then over at blabbermouth.net, Epica, Amaranthi, and Charlotte Wessels, the former lead singer of Delane, are going on a European tour starting January 16th, 2026 in Cologne, Germany at the Palladium, finishing March
Man,
22nd, 2026 in Frankfurt am Main, Germany at the Jahrhunderthal. Jahrhunderthal. Yep. So that was the last one that I had. So that's going to be hitting the road for the 8th through the 14th.
cool. Awesome. I guess that will then put us into our theme of the week. And
Right.
before we do that, I'm going to put this out there. 'Cause I'm trying to get this out there first. Let's see. This will be the link to the new music that came out this week. There is the link for that. So if you want to check out the new music that was released this week, there you go. Before we get into our theme here, so theme of the week we decided to go with today and tomorrow. It's a little difficult, but we'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's probably not going to be one of the longer
It's
playlists we
probably
end
not,
up
yeah, it's probably
having.
not gonna be a 71 for sure. So,
No.
so I had the today side of things. So start with Hate Breed, looking down the barrel of today from the Concrete Confessional 2016. And I went with Bullet from a Valentine, 10 Years Today from the Poison 2006. Dope, Today is Today from Group Therapy 2003. In Flames, As the Future Repeats Today from the Clayman 2000. Then I went with a band called It Dies Today. It's one thing I did find. I did find some new bands when I was doing this, so that's always a good thing. Went with It Dies Today in the song Reckless Abandon. That's from the Levidity album 2009. I went with our good friend Die for My Sins. I went with their song Time because, you know, today is time. So there you go.
Yep.
Scream 2024. Then I went with a band called For Today. They had a song called Fearless. And took that one from the Immortal album from 2012. They went with Seven Dust Not Today from Kill the Flaw 2015. Went with Corn Right Now because that's today, right now.
Right now.
Yep, yep. So that's from Take a Look in the Mirror 2003. Then I went with Obey the Brave. It Starts Today from the Youngblood album 2012. Then I went with Escape the Fate, Live for Today from Hate Me 2015. Then I went with Her Name in Blood with Last Day. So, you know, I just kind of went with it. So,
That's fun.
I mean, it's the last day before tomorrow. I mean, so.
Yep.
So yeah. From Bake Mono 2016. Then we went with our good friends Hidden Intent, Apocalypse Now, because, like I said, now is today. So,
That's right.
Fear, Prey, Demise 2018. Everture Ashes of Today. That was a single in 2023. And then last but not least, I went with Devil Drivers Daybreak, which would lead into the day.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then that was from Trusted No One 2016. I mean, I could have ventured out into Sunrise and stuff, but I was like, yeah, I'm just going to kind of keep it here because we may have to use those for something else at some
We
point. So
might, yeah. Speaking of our friends in Hidden Intent, did you catch their new video yet?
I hadn't watched the video. I did listen to the song, but I haven't seen the
Okay,
video.
so you heard the song though.
Yeah, that's badass, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Oh man. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that album. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
it's gonna be good.
March is gonna be insane.
Yeah,
Holy shit, March is gonna be insane.
yeah. Warbringer and them, it's
Oh, okay.
crazy.
All right. So I had the Tomorrow portion, leading off with Tomorrow by Ozzy Osbourne off of Osmosis from 1995. Then No Tomorrow by All That Remains off Anti Fragile that just came out last week. No, 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Then I had Tomorrow by Stradivarius off of Episode from 1996. Then I had Tomorrow by Rage off Wings of Rage from 2020. Gates of Tomorrow by Iron Maiden off Dance of Death from 2003. No Tomorrow by Metal Church off of their album 11 from 2016. Forget Tomorrow by The Agonist off of Once Only Imagined from 2007. And then, if in case you're curious, that is Alyssa White, The Agonist. Then
Yep.
they had Come Tomorrow by Zentrix off their album Kin from 1992. Tomorrow Never Comes by Brainstorm off their debut album Hungry from 1997. Tomorrow's No Concern by Dee Snider off of For the Love of Metal from 2018. A Better Tomorrow by Creator off of Outcast from 1997. If I Die Tomorrow by Motley Crue, which was a single from 2014. It was also on their Red, White, and Crew compilation.
Yep.
What Tomorrow Knows by Nevermore off of their self titled album from 1995. Like There's No Tomorrow by Halford off Made of Metal from 2010. And number 15, I Don't Believe in Tomorrow by Lacuna Coil off Dark Adrenaline from 2012.
Nice.
Yeah,
Not
so
gonna be bad. I got some tomorrow
yeah,
stuff to add, so
we
so
get
it'll make it a little bit longer.
yeah, and I already know of a couple I'll probably add to your side. So I mean, we'll end up
Oh, cool.
probably 35 or so songs,
I mean, I
somewhere
mean,
around there, and
how,
then
how, how
we'll
big? Well, I mean, how big was yours?
15.
That's what I had. So we're already at
Yeah,
30. So it would probably
yeah,
be about 40 or so.
yeah.
I would
So
say.
and
Yeah.
I'll see. I got
See
a
what
couple.
Kayla could add. So
Got a couple other people I'll try to send this to. I may send it to Victor and see what he can add. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I've already got my half built in Spotify. I'll send it to Jason here in just a minute, and we'll get it put together and sent out to you guys. So, which by the way, another reminder: if you're not a part of the Facebook group, I still share the playlist to some of our social media outlets. But if you're part of the Facebook group, our private group, when I send it out there as a collaborator link that's good for
Right.
7 days. When I
Right.
share it to TikTok and X and stuff like that, I
No collaboration.
just share it as a link that takes you to it to listen to it. So if you're interested in collaborating on the playlist, if there's some songs that you guys think of that we didn't and you want to add it, you know, come and join us at the Facebook group, or drop us a line on our socials. That's fine, which
Hmm.
we'll list those at the end. But
Yep.
being a member of the Facebook group, that's kind of one of the perks, is that you get a chance to be a collaborator on these playlists that we put together. So just food for thought for you guys.
All right. So that will take us into our album reviews of the week. Before we get started with that, I just want to point out that's a nice shirt Chris is wearing over there today. So,
Yes.
so that was our 2023 tour date shirts that we finally got done. So
Which I know is weird because we're February of
I
2025,
know, but
but
you know, I
but I
did
don't
that.
but
I
I don't
did.
want I don't want anyone giving you shit over the fact that it's our 2023 shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2024 is still the artwork's still being worked on, so
That's right.
that we actually decided to go with somebody on that one. So we're waiting on them to send us back some artwork, and then we got it all figured out with the t-shirt making. So we'll have 2024s this year. So, so I promise. So I like to have them by the rocking pod, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. So that's kind of what did my taxes the other day. So it's supposed to be back in like 3 weeks. I said, Gotta be back before Rockin' Pie, so I can order a bunch of T-shirts and make them. I guess so.
Yep.
Uh, so all right, that will lead us into our album reviews this week. I went kind of out of the norm, I guess, which I kind of went blind in with this week. I didn't, like I said, I had a lot going on, so I didn't really try to find anything that was, and like honestly, there to me, I didn't think there was a lot of out there unless there were some. There was a lot of big name stuff out there this week, I guess you could say. So it was more,
Hmm.
not really leaning toward our forte of trying to find new bands. You had, you
Right.
know, because you had Bleeding Through, Crazy Legs, Dynasty,
Hmm.
Hands Like Houses, Lacuna Coil, Raven, uh,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Some stuff
and
will have
then
to
one
go
and
back.
then and then and then one of the ones, Wind Waker, was a deluxe from an album last year, so I didn't try to bother with that. So I mean, yeah,
Right.
when you take all that away, you're looking at maybe six albums that you had to pick from that were kind of kind of new, and it was actually metal. So just telling you that. So
Yeah, that does happen more often than it really should. But I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, like I said, if they you got somebody sending you stuff and it says, oh well, this is a metal band. I mean, if they don't have time to listen to it, they're just going to add it to their list because, well, they may not get their inbox full of stuff like we do either. So I don't know if they say, "Hey, listen to this" and put it on the thing. I mean, that's that may not be how that works for them. I don't know. But anyway, I went with a band called Mantric Momentum. The album's called Alienized. They are a Norwegian power metal band formed around 2020. It didn't have an exact date. It just had around. I'm like, okay, somewhere around there.
okay, yeah, sure.
uh, and the current members are, looks like a brother tandem here. It was Krister Heroi, guitars, bass, and drums, and then we had Tarjei Heroi. It's Terje. I don't know how they would pronounce that in Norwegian. So uh,
Probably Tarya.
Aria. Okay, so we'll
Cause
go with that.
like with, and I'm not an expert, so don't get me wrong, but like with Bjorn,
Right.
Bjorn,
Exactly.
probably Tarya. I mean, I'm just
Okay.
guessing. I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Well, I mean that's fine. Like I said, we got it wrong. We're not from there, so we apologize. But
Right? Yeah,
that
we
that
really do
the
apologize.
they are the vocalists. This is the band's second full length release. 11 tracks, and it's clocking in around 54 minutes 44 seconds in length.
Ooh,
Yeah, so pretty lengthy. The best way to describe this, I think, and I thought hard about this because I kept hearing like these little things, and I said, man, this is. It sounds like them guys, but it doesn't sound like these guys. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it was kind of strange. It's kind of strange. So I kind of put it into uh, like a this band meets this band type scenario because I think if
sure.
you put all three packaged together, this is what you would have. But
Oh, I
it was
got you.
like, and I'm going back a ways with some of this stuff, so bear with me. So it's I kind of was like, this is Saigon Kick meets Striper meets Evergrey.
Okay,
This
yeah, you went back a ways. With
yeah, yeah. So I
the
mean, this is
exception of Evergrey, you went back a bit.
right. So I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's how like long how long of a inspiration I've heard in some of this stuff. So it's pretty wild. So and I'm not sure these guys have been in other bands. I'm sure, but so I will say the singer has a lot of range. So I mean, there's definitely some stuff that he was hitting. I'm just like, holy shit! Of course, I mean, you're talking about like I said, you're talking about power metal. So I mean, that's
Right.
kind of a thing that they're accustomed to is hitting some shit. You're just like, holy shit! So it's definitely, like I said, man, I'll tell you right now, power metal vocalists always impress me. I think it's more of the musical arrangement for me. Sometimes it's kind of like it's a little off-putting for me. I'm just like, yeah, they could have went with this a little bit more than that. I kind of wanted to hear something different in different parts of songs. So, I kind of feel like well, it sound like they pulled back on the bass here. What I mean. Some just little
Hmm.
things like that I think could have made the song better. But I'm not the musician, so and I don't have a record label, so I guess what the fuck do I know?
Right.
So, but so it did. So this one did start with a minute 44-second prelude, which was named just that, a prelude to takeoff. So I mean, when
Okay.
you tell me that's what's coming, I'm kind of like, okay, cool.
Right.
But just to come out and say, oh, this is called song, and it's a minute and 10 seconds. I'm like,
Called song.
okay, uh, no, it's called instrument. That's what it's called. But
Yeah,
anyway, instrumentally, this thing was just well done. I mean, I say this, like, power metal guitars are probably right next to thrash metal guitarists. I think, because
they
to
can
me
be.
anyway, they're just some amazing guitarists over there doing that stuff, man. Especially over in Europe. So
Yeah.
and like, so this one was like, there were some keyboards even sprinkled in there, and it was even good with that because a lot of times when you hear some power metal, I've heard some stuff that's keyboards hit and it's like a little overpowering.
Yep, I have to.
I think, and, we've even heard that with our friend Spillage, a couple songs before. I'm like, ooh, they kind of went a little heavy on keyboards, with that one. But
Hmm.
not saying it was a bad song. We just pointing out that they, hey, a little heavy there. But like I said, they don't.
It's
Maybe
it's
maybe it was intentional. We don't know, but
it can be a balancing act, sure.
it is. Yeah, and to me, I think keyboards are probably the hardest instrument to try to blend with heavy metal. I mean,
Okay.
because you don't have as much deep notes with that. I don't think so. It's kind of the it's kind of stuff putting into so it's kind of gives it a
Right.
little different approach and sound.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
um,
sometimes the contrast can be glaring.
it can be, yeah, it can be. So, and and as you know, I'm not a huge power metal or symphonic metal guy, but
Yeah.
I will tell you this: you should probably listen to this and then let me know
Okay.
what you think, because I did think it was a really good album. I enjoyed it. Would I go out of my way and try to pull it up? Probably not. But if it come on and I was listening, say, oh, okay, there's those guys. That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it 3.5 horns, man. It was pretty good.
Nice. All right. Very nice. All right. Well, my album review this week. Let me pull this sucker up here. All right. Was the brand new album by Lone Shark called No Sins to Confess. They are a traditional heavy metal band formed in Barcelona, Spain in 2017. Their lyrical themes are metal and women, as a lot of traditional heavy metal was. Their current label is RPM Roar, which the Roar is an offshoot of the main RPM Records label. They are a trio consisting of Alice Opposed, or probably a less Opposed on bass, Angel Smolsky on drums, and Logan Heads on vocals and guitars. All three are the original members, so they've been around. All three have been around since 2017. Les and Logan were in a band together called Crimson Storm. I didn't really look into the history of that, but they were in another band together at one point in time. This is the band's debut LP. They had an EP in 2018 and a compilation in 2021. The new album clocks in at 10 tracks, 39 minutes, and 20 seconds. No intros, no outros, no instrumentals or anything like that. This album is pretty much straightforward, a prototypical uh, 80s style
Yeah.
traditional heavy metal album. Uh, Sounds like the 80s, paced like the 80s, vocals like the 80s. Uh, it's really just got an overall throwback sound. Pretty formulaic, not in a bad way. Pretty formulaic. Lead in, verse, lead in, chorus, lead out. Not no real breakdowns. Nice heavy intricate guitar solos, ending verse, lead out right into the next song, so pretty standard. Like I said, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean it's just
Mhm.
it has a really prototypical uh, traditional heavy metal sound. I will say one thing that there wasn't a there were some times where there wasn't a lot of diversity from one song to the other. Sometimes they did stay a little too tight to the formula. Uh, but the songs were written well. I mean, the drums well done, vocals well done, guitars well done, everything done well. Uh, they're, they did do the one thing about heavy metal songs in the 80s that used to annoy the shit out of me is they would take one, and usually it was like the name of the song or part of the chorus, and at the very end of the song they would sing it like 19 times before the end of the song. It's like, we get it, knock it off and end the song. So, but that was really my
Almost,
one
almost
my
like the Guns N' Roses don't cry.
exactly. Yeah. Or the end, or yeah, that, or the end to the Final Frontier by Iron Maiden. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Or that instrumental outro by Demons Be Driven by Pantera.
Oh yeah.
so yeah, that's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. I don't mind you repeating something like maybe 2 or 3 times, but 6, 8, 10 times, it's like, knock it off. We
Well,
get it.
well, much.
Um, yeah. So pretty good jumping off point for the band. I mean, which is weird to say because they're going into their 8th year of their career. They do have a little bit. They do have a little bit of other stuff in their history, but half of their EP is actually on this LP. So they kind of brought a couple of the songs from their first LP, and they brought it and put it on this album. So I'm going to give this one 3.5 horns too.
Cool.
Yeah, not bad.
Trying to
Not
see.
bad.
You said they're from Finland, right?
No, Spain.
Spain. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Spain. From
I
España.
was just looking at. Because I found a Crimson Storm, but I'm not sure it's the same band. So I was trying to see if they had any of the same members. Yeah,
Ah,
actually, yeah. Okay, Logan Heads and
yep, Logan Heads and A Less Opposed.
yeah. So
Alice,
you want to
Alice.
you want to you want to hear something even better, funnier than that?
Well, hold on, let me look it up. Oh, they're from Finland? Okay, hang on.
No, 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 no. Crimson Storm actually released a brand new album exactly a month ago.
Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Yep, called "Living on the Bad Side." Yep, January
No
14th.
shit. Okay.
When you said that name, I said, "Why does that sound familiar?"
Wait,
And I was like,
January 14th?
"Yeah, January 14th. Yep, Crimson Storm, Living on the Bad Side. Yep, that's the same band. So that's why
Okay.
I was trying to link it to see if it was the same one. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, so
Wait a minute. Wait. I fucking reviewed that album.
did you really?
Hold on. Wait. Son of a bitch, I sure as hell did. I did. I reviewed that album.
Wow.
I
So
gave it
which
three and a
one?
half. Gave it three and a
What?
half horns too.
Oh wow. So well, I mean, they're keeping it consistent then. So.
I didn't even I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, I didn't
shit.
until
Okay.
you said Crimson Storm. And I was like, why does that sound familiar? And then
Yep.
I was like, oh
Yeah, sure
okay,
as hell did.
huh, interesting.
Yeah, I did. Well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, and of course, this is their first full length album too. I'm sorry, that was I'm sorry, I was still on Lone Shark.
Yeah, Crimson Storm. That was their debut
Yeah,
album
that was
too.
their debut. That's what I'm saying. Like that's both bands' debut album. They both had an EP out before.
A month apart. Yep.
That's
Yeah, you're right.
crazy. That's a pretty
Yeah.
pretty wild timeline for two
Huh.
bands to have. That's
I'll be damned.
reach out to them. I want to hear this story, dude.
Actually, it's not a bad idea. It's like, hey,
uh,
I reviewed both
I
your
reviewed
albums.
both albums. Yeah.
I reviewed both your albums. Come on the show, tell us
Well,
about
not
it.
both of their albums, but both of their, one of their previous bands and their current band. So, you know,
Well, yeah, I'll reach out to Logan
yeah,
and Alice and be like, hey, I reviewed both your albums. You want to come on the show?
that's pretty
That's
funny.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea at all. And
All right.
actually, yeah, Lone Shark has a Gmail account, and so does Crimson Storm. They both have Gmail accounts.
We get them both over here, and we can hear both sides of the stories. So
That would be awesome. Oh, that would be cool.
get it firsthand instead of from some publication, right?
That's right.
All right. I know we got some big shit coming out next week, so let's hear it.
All right. Looking forward to next Friday, February 21st, leading off with the Seventh Guild with Triumviro, across the swarm with invisible threads, Abduction with Existentialismus, Acid Magus with Scatterling Empire, Air Force with Acts of Madness, Aether with the Serpent, and Scene with Death Hymns 2, Book of Tribulation, Anxious with Bambi, Asasara with 777, that's an EP, Baron Cross with Atomic Arena slash State of Control, that's a re release, Beyond Frequencies with Everything I Am, Blue Mammoth with Ka Ora, Bong Ra with Black Noise, The Boy That Got Away with Peacetime, Cages with Better Mistakes, Crossbringer with Helismus Aeternus, Sulak with Wayfarer, Dal Av and Jackson Rose with Petrichor, The Dark with a self-titled EP, The Dead Notes with Rock and Roll Savior, Defiled Serenity within the Slumber of the Mind, uh, Diamond Tide with a self-titled album, Dirty Honey with Mayhem and Revelry, Drugs of Faith with Asymmetrical, Ellis Mano Band with Morph, N-Bound with Set It Free, Excision with Urena Ajasa. I don't know if I said that right. 4 seconds ago with 1,000 Needles, Fractured Insanity with Age of Manipulation, Frau Fleischer with We Are Not, God Complex with He Watches in Silence, that's an EP, Grab with Kramus, Incantum with Maleficia, Jason Byler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra with The Escapologist, Carla Cult with Thunder Hunter, Katerina Nicole with Serene in Violent Oceans, that's an EP, Killswitch Engage with This Consequence, King Zog with Second Dawn, Quoon with Odyssey, Last Call Disaster with Is It Me That's Making Me Sick, that's an EP, Magnator
Oh,
with Beautiful Nightmare, Melikath with Eternal Roar of the Thunder and Rain, Mantra with Titans, Marrow Womb with uh, oh shit, Physenemy, Matalobos with Phantasmagoria, Hexed Lands, Maud the Moth with the Distaff, Mean Mistreater with Do or Die, Morax with the Amulet, Noct Blut with Taj Chick, Necronomicon Ex Mortis slash Blood Feast Ritual with You've Got Red on You, that's a split, Ochre with So Often Lifeblood Comes from Ashes, Old Skin with Walls of 10,000, Whales of 10,000, sorry, Omega Purge with The Last Monarch's Fall, One OK Rock with Detox, Punch Card with Soapbox Hero, the follow up to Foreigner's Jukebox Hero, Realm with Emperor of the Sun, Retromorphosis with Salmus Mortis, Rick Pierce Group with Brick by Brick, Sacrifice with Volume 6, Sarcom with Exceed into Chaos, Saywall with Thresholds of the Unseen, Book 1, The Abyss, Scare with In the End Was It Worth It, Scour with Gold, Scum Ripper with For a Few Fixes More, Seventh Station with On Shoulders of Giants, that's an EP, Shadow of the Talisman with As Above, So Below, Shepherds of Cassini with Enthrall to Heresy, Shrike with The Divine and the Serpentine, Silos with Apocalypse, Sinner Rage with Power Strike, Sin of God with Bloodbound, Soul Siphon with Reality is Bleak, that's an EP, Spy with Seen Enough, that's an EP, Stinky with Solace, Sweet Beast with Illusions, Swimming with Old, Temple of Discord within the Ashes, To Obey a Tyrant with Frigor Inferni, Traders with Phobias, Twins Crew with Chapter 4, Uncured with Warpath, Void Ward with Occult Symmetry, Vulture's Vengeance with Dust Age, Whereafter with Blessed and Depressed, Wreckmeister Harmonies with Flowers in the Spring, Ren with Black Rain Falls, Xenotrone with Into the Void, and Yawning Balch with Volume 3.
it's a big week for metalcore. It looks like so.
Yes, it does
We
appear to
got
be the case.
Traders and Killswitch. And
Mm-hmm.
good stuff, man. So I noticed they got a little bit lengthier this week too. So it's
Yeah,
just starting to dip into. I mean, it's just crazy to think we're like 2 weeks away from March already.
I know.
So it's
Nuts.
already. And then of course we got the Rockin' Pod gearing up at April the 11th through the 13th.
Yep.
They've already, they started out slow, but they definitely made up for it. I think in the last few weeks, man.
Yeah.
They've got
Very.
some great guests this week, and then of course Bob Chiappardi's back. I'd love to talk
I
to him
saw
again.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, he lives in the Nashville area, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
not surprising. But
So yeah, we
we got
got Bob, we got
two members of Accept, and
Brian Slagle. Oh, I mean,
yeah, Yeah,
I
I mean,
really hope we could
I
get him.
yeah, I do too. So
That'd be
um,
awesome.
yeah, so cool stuff, man, to look forward to. So
Yep.
yeah, a lot of
It's
big
creeping up
things,
on us, man. It's a month and a half away.
big things happening. And Chris, if you want to model your shirt, you sure can. I will give
All right.
give out a little info on that if
Here's
you
the-
want to. If
Hang
you
on.
want,
I'm gonna do
if
without my headphones on, so I don't get all
yeah,
caught up in it. So
yeah.
just hang on.
So there's the front of that one, and then of course we have the
There's
tour dates on the
there's
back.
front. There's the front. Hang on. I want to trip over my chair.
Uh, the back with the tour dates. So there's that. So and I said we'll have our 2024 ones. Probably if I haven't heard anything from this guy in the next 30 days, I'm probably going to try to find somebody else because I mean it's kind of a I'm kind of a deadline at this point because I've gotten this stuff figured out. And I'm ready to roll now. So I'm like, shit, let's go.
You're chomping at
So
the bit
yeah,
now.
so it took a while, but we got there. So
Yeah.
but yeah, if anybody wants that, you can hit us up on our emails at Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com or any of our socials. Best just on our socials. We'll be glad to give you info on how to get your hands on one of those t shirts.
Okay.
So, and that being said, you want to check out our 24/7 radio station at stream.trulyradio247.com /8008/stream. New songs uploaded there weekly.
Yep.
Like I said, I usually do the playlists, and then I'll usually try to upload the stuff. Usually when I'm my next day off after that, so which is usually Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, whichever day they usually give me off. So, so
Right. Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm usually sitting here. She works from home, so I'm just sitting here, you know, bullshitting anyway. So I was like, I might as well do something productive.
Right.
So I usually do podcasts and stuff that day. So
Yep.
yeah. So and then
Yep.
Chris will run down our socials for you.
Yep. Like I said, we have our Facebook group and our Facebook page. We have X, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Again, being a member of the private Facebook group, you do get exclusive opportunity to collaborate on adding any songs to our theme of the week playlist that we may have missed because obviously we don't know every song by every band. So you
Right.
know, one caveat that it's got to pertain to the theme.
Right.
That's really the only rule. So yeah, come on by, join the group, and follow us on all of the socials.
And we'll give a shout out to the Iced Earth fan last week, man. Like I started refollowing him on some. He's got some amazing stuff, dude. Like
Yeah,
he been pulling out some CDs and stuff. It's like, oh man, that's badass. I didn't, pulling out some stuff I either forgot or missed along the way. I'm just like, oh wow, I didn't know that one
yeah,
was out there. So it's pretty cool to watch. He got a pretty good collection going on over there. So shout out to him for because I mean, like I said, if you got all that stuff, then the artist obviously made something off of it. So shout out to
yeah,
supporting the bands. So speaking of which, we were supposed to do a live stream in March, which got pushed off to July now. So we will be
hmm
doing our first live stream of the year from Rocket Pod. Looks like now. So
yep,
and of course we always do Dana's birthday in November, so we at least have that
yeah.
those two to look forward to, and then the
And
July show.
he'll be 52.
Yeah, 52. Yeah, old ass.
Yeah,
He's in there. He's in there farting dust right now, man. So,
yeah, he is. Yeah.
oh man. Anyway, so and another thing, we do plan on having a guest next Saturday, so no Friday night show as of right now. Yeah, plan on having a show next Saturday. Oh, excuse me. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
bless you.
So we play.
Oh my goodness.
I get three. It's definitely a heavy metal. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
demon inside. That's what my grandma used to say. Do it more than twice, you got a demon in you, son. So, which may be true. Who knows? But but anyway, we do plan on having a guest next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So we're going to try to bring back brainstorm one more time. Hopefully, we can get on board this time with the same
Yep.
info and everything, so we can get this thing going. So
Yep.
definitely a band that's been around a while, and I'd love to hear some of the things leading up to their
Oh, hell yeah.
success for being around this long, and
Yeah.
not being known as well over here, surely, So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah. Like I said, hopefully we'll have that. I will let you guys know for sure on Friday, so we're not going uh, through this through this thing on Saturday morning.
Right.
Not have a guest or something. I'm gonna confirm Friday, so
Yeah.
we can be for sure. So hopefully everything works out this time. So
Yep.
looking forward to chatting with those guys from Brainstorm. So.
Yep. Me too.
All right, yes. Well, that will wrap this one up for this week. Like I said, if you want to go over to Chris was telling you over to the Facebook group, join us over there. You'll find out all the info there as we post most of our stuff either in the group or the page. Page is just a follow, so if you want to do that, you can still keep up with some of the stuff there. Live guests and everything kind of pop up there. So and the weekly shows pop up there.
Hmm.
So you can always catch there too if you don't want to be part of the group. But we do share videos, and other bands are on there sharing their local stuff. So there's a
Yep.
lot of stuff that you won't see on the page on the group.
Yep.
So just to let you know. So
Yep.
and then and
Yeah.
then
Just yeah. Just in case you were like, well, what's the difference between the group and the page? Well,
right,
we do try to post a lot of stuff to the page. You know, the Metalhead Minute does go
mhm,
there if you don't watch it on any of the other platforms. But we are more active on the private group.
right,
There is a little bit more stuff posted there, and I've already mentioned the Spotify playlist thing. So,
right. Yep.
but so that'd be the difference.
That'd be the difference. Yep. So. Anyway, that will wrap this one up for this week. Hopefully, we'll see you back here next week. Hopefully, with a guest for sure this time. If not, then we will have something for you guys. I guess. So
One way
hopefully,
or the other.
more of the other guys. So until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.